Hey everyone, my name is Katy and welcome to Greenland Quilter. And I thought we were live, but apparently we weren't. So that's why there was no talking going on. Okay. So Cherry, you get to repeat yourself. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I don't mind. I can be a talker. So, my name's Sherry Yurton.
And welcome to Greenland Quilter. And I thought we were live, but apparently we weren't. So that's why there
I'm
was no
sorry.
talking going on. Okay.
You were
So
mean.
Cherry, you
I
get to
don't know.
repeat yourself. I'm so
My iPad decided to go off of mute. It wanted to talk at the
yeah.
same time as I did, so I
Okay.
apologize for that.
No, it's
But
okay.
um, yeah, my name's Sherry Yurton, and I'm starting a YouTube channel. I want to do um, YouTube videos where I do instructional videos to where I may show you how to do a block. Um, I may show you how to do an applique, foundation paper piecing, anything from how to make a pillowcase to a pillow to a bag. Uh, anything that you might be interested in, I'm interested in showing you or in that. Um, I've been a quilter for over 30 years. When I was like 18 years old, I decided someday I want to make a quilt for myself. Someday I want to do that. Well, I was about 29 years old and I made my first one. It was a log cabin. I took a private class from a lady that taught. And then it's just snowballed from there. So I spent about 10 years teaching how to quilt. And I own a long arm quilting business here. I'm in Clayton, North Carolina. And so I've been doing long arm quilting for over 20 years. When I first started, I did, it was all free motion, no computerized. I didn't have any computerized or anything like that. But I have it, I do have computerized now. Now I need to practice back up my free motion again. So, but
What?
anyhow,
So, so will long arming come into your videos eventually?
yes, they will. I have a few videos that show me doing just a little bit, but yes, I plan on having the long arm. A lot of people are curious. What does it look like? What does the machine look like? How do you make it work and things like that. So I'll be sharing that,
Okay,
you
that's
know.
great.
Yeah.
So Sherry just started her channel. She is one of my channel members, and one of the perks of being a channel member is I can bring you onto Zoom if you're not afraid to show your face. And some are fine with it, and others don't want anything to do with Zoom, and that is just fine. We're all good about that. But I'm hoping after the first of the year, we can start doing I don't know, I think I want to do it where it's maybe every other month we do a Zoom private to sew together, because there's competition out there for um because most everybody that's running in our circles running in all the other circles, and some of them are members of other channels too, and they also have Zooms, and it's hard to determine when to have a Zoom where I can get everybody to come to the Zoom. So I'm been in deep thought about how I could do things for my paid members because of the extra things they're doing for me, to show my appreciation of their help. um but I don't want to make it where people feel left out who are not members. So, we got to figure that out. So let me say hello to everybody real quick, and then we're going to talk about Cherry's channel some more. Okay. Hello, Marin. Hey, Pat. Uh, Frank from Florida's here. Yay. Gladys. Hello. Hello, Lori Colgan. Hello, Chloe. Hey, Kristen. Hello, Carissa. Hello, Sandra K. And did I miss anyone? Let's hope not. Okay, so I'm going to share again Cherry's channel link. Y'all go over there and subscribe because her channel is brand new. And she just was talking about what she's going to do with the channel. So y'all go over and share your love so that we can get her channel off on a good start. And she's here to sew with me. And she's been on the live before to sew with me. So we're going to just sew. And what did you say you were going to work on again? Let me
This is
spotlight
a
you so
quilt.
hang on.
It
I'm going to
says 7.
spotlight you.
Okay.
Uh-oh, what happened?
I think they,
There we go.
okay. There you go. It says it's 7 Sisters. It's by Aunt M's. You can go on auntms.com and get her patterns. She does all scrappy quilts, and also the patterns available on Etsy. But she has a lot of nice patterns, but this one has like a scrappy star.
Oh,
And I have to use, I'll use a 60-degree. Hope that's right. Ruler
mhm.
to cut. I'll make strips and then I'll cut 60 degrees.
Oh, no.
And then they end up looking like this. 2
Oh.
different ways. You do them different. And like
Okay.
these could be the star points.
So this is another way of using your scraps to make stars.
It is. They have a lot of patterns out there, or a lot of ideas to use your scraps. You know, like people say, you know, that fabric that may cost you $14-15 a yard,
Mhm.
that half yard or a quarter yard you got left still costs you that. You know, you got money in
Even
it.
those little pieces do, if you think about it.
I know. I
Everything you
know.
everything you throw in a garbage can, that's money going down the toilet. Even the pieces you can't sew anymore, that's money in the toilet. Uh, there's some people that have subscribed. Frank said he subscribed to your channel, Sherry.
Thank you, Frank.
Uh, I saw some other people have too. Lori said she subscribed. And if anybody else
Sorry.
has it, y'all run over there and do the same and help her out. Okay, now I'm gonna wait till a few more people get into the channel so that I don't have to repeat myself about the New Year's Eve party, live, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I thought we would touch base on that. I have I am very happy to see that the form is being used. We're up to, I think, 29 people who have filled out the form for the live, because the only way you can win a giveaway is to go do that form. And the form is both on my I will post the link here because I got to go hunt it again, but you can also find it on my community tab. There's a graphic, which I probably will be updating that graphic the day after Christmas and reposting the links and everything to make sure everybody sees it. And I'll repost it also on my Facebook group. But that graphic, if you look in the where I wrote talking about the live, there's a link for the Google form for you to fill out to participate in the live. I mean, in the giveaway. And I might seem a little out of sorts tonight. I had a bad headache earlier. So if it seems like I'm being weird, it's because I had a headache all day. So, All right, what I'm going to work on is my Tree of Life Hope. And this is the one for the breast cancer, to honor breast cancer survivors, or anyone who's had breast cancer. You could do this for. And the reason I'm doing this one is I'm going to make this for, or I'm making this for my sister, my youngest sister, who was diagnosed with breast cancer, I want to say 4 years ago. And right now she's in remission, but last year, Karen being Karen, she thinks she's invincible. And it's not the first time that she's done something that's got her hurt and put in the hospital, put it that way. She was jumping her bike and she crashed her bike, and the handlebars ruptured the implant and broke 3 of her ribs. And when they realized that there was one of the ribs, they had to go in and do surgery something was wrong with the inside of it. So they'd go in and clean it up and fix it. And she woke up in the middle of the surgery. And some of you have heard me discuss the wreckage that I have in here. And when she had this accident and she woke up in her surgery, the surgery triggered all of her wreckage. So she's been having a really, really hard time of getting herself back straight. Because I guess she's probably having bad dreams and stuff more than likely, like I did. Suffer from PTSD and it only takes an accident or a thing like a crash into my sewing room to trigger it, and you can't control it. You have to ride it out. But she is in the middle of mental therapy, but it's slow going. So I thought I would make her a quilt and send it to her, and I'm hoping it'll lighten her spirit a little bit. And I'm hoping she'll get back on her feet, because she's still not communicating with any of us. And that's what happens when you get down. Sometimes you don't want to talk to anyone, and I think that's what's happened to her. And I'm concerned about her, but she lives in Spain. She's been living in Spain for 37 years. She was the smart one and she left.
So you all are transplants, huh? Somewhere.
Well, me and her. My other sister and my brother still live in Florida.
Okay.
But my brother had a different growing up than we did. He's 12 years younger than me. And the sun and the moon set with him as far as my dad was concerned. Us girls didn't, so yeah. His knowledge is very low. He knows about stuff, but he doesn't believe any of it, because the way he was raised was totally different from us. He was very young and he wasn't aware of all the stuff that was going on. Yeah. And and when some of it came out, he was like, y'all are lying. Dad would never do that. So I don't talk to my brother about it. And, because I don't want to ruin what he has always had with my parent or our parents that we didn't have with our parents. So, and it's hard for us girls at times, because, when you see a loving relationship between a child and a parent, you're a little jealous that you didn't have that. So that's the way I've tried to treat my kids well. And she's treated her kids well. We've tried to stop that cycle. And I think we've done a pretty good job of it. And I hope no one leaves as we're talking. I'm not even really saying what went on. But, I do think that mental health should be talked about, especially when someone's struggling, because we all need friends, or we need friends. And a lot of times having a sewing community or a crafting community or whatever kind of community can help you get through rough times when you're struggling. Because a lot of times, you get depressed, you get sad, and talking to other people helps.
Yeah, this time of year, there's a lot of people we have a lot of family, you get together, but it's good to remember the ones that don't have a lot of family around them, and maybe send them a Christmas card or do something a little bit special, invite them over to your house. That's what the spirit of giving and Christmas is supposed to be about, is sharing and caring.
Yep.
That's how I feel.
And I also think, listen, you guys, if any of you are feeling sad and you need a little hug or a little talking to help lift your spirits, all of us are here. All you got to do is say, hey, I want to talk. My door's open anytime if you need it. Yeah. The holidays are rough on many people. And a lot of times and I noticed this, one of the things is when you're doing all these festivities, and then I call it the great letdown, because after the holidays, suddenly there's all this hustling and bustling and do just suddenly stops. And then you're like, I don't know. I used to call it falling on your face, because you're like, what am I supposed to do with myself now? I feel sad. Why do I feel sad after having such a good time? And I think that, and wintertime contributes to it too, because you have lower light. The sun's not as bright during the winter months. So you know, some of us have seasonal depression. Some of us have letdowns after a holiday. And you know, if you have friends to talk to, that's great. And we have a really great community. So if you're struggling, come to someone, say, hey, I need help. Don't try to do it by yourself.
Don't feel that you're alone. That's one good thing about that. I know Katie's going to talk about it later, but she's, you know, with her live on Christmas Eve. But I mean, I'm sorry, it's New Year's Eve.
Yep.
But you have somebody to share something with. You have something to do. Somebody's going to be there and that. So you're not going to be alone.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing this live, because I don't want to be alone. And
right.
You know, I'm not the only one that's by themselves right now this season. So that's why I'm doing this, is because I want to, you know, have the
we've aged out in our partying days.
yeah. No more going to bars or anything like that.
I know,
You know,
we're not
all
doing
for all
that no
carrying
more.
on.
Never invites. Yeah, never invites you over, and you say, "Oh, for New Year's Eve, oh, I don't think I can stay up till 12 o'clock."
Oh, we're gonna see how I do this go around. I'm sure I can manage the 12 hours, but I'll be walking zombie the next day. All right,
you're going to need some support.
Yep. Let me say hey to someone came in here a minute ago, didn't they?
Diane,
Hello, sisters
Diana.
of the Violet Flame. Hello, you're new. Welcome. Okay, so about the live. I will keep on talking about it all the way up till the night before. You have until December 30th if you want to participate in the giveaway to fill out your Google form. You cannot play if you don't do the form, because I'm not going to chase you down. I'm not doing it. So do the form, because then it gives me all the information I need, and then I can do what I need to do on my end to make sure you get your winnings. Should you be a winner, I will be giving away 8 Modern Maker boxes, and I'll be putting some things in the box with the fabric. And remember that when you get the fabric, there'll be a little bit missing off of it, because I made blocks out of it for cotton cuts. And y'all have seen the blocks so far. In fact, I got a new one to do with you guys soon. And but the fabric's really nice. And I'll put little doodads and treats in there for you too. And it'll be worth it. And I will be paying for the shipping. And it doesn't matter where you live at. I will take care of that. I'm also giving away 4 $25 gift cards. And on the form, you have a choice of where you want it from. And Andrea of Mama J Enterprises is donating hold on. She's donating the pattern that I did a test on for her modern tumbling blocks. For those who've never seen this I'll just show you half of it. But the pattern that she's going to be giving away for the drawing will be to make this quilt top.
That turned out so nice.
I'm really happy with it. So that's what she's donating to the cause. And so there'll be a lucky winner that'll get to make this quilt. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll also be doing, I have a link for the Mo to Love block, and you're also going to see the bot sharing the Mo to Love block. And the Mo to Love block looks like this.
That's cute.
It is. The pattern is a PDF, and it has 4 different sizes. So you can make a 10-inch, an 8-inch, a 6-inch, or a 4-inch. And what we're going to do during the 12-hour live is I'll walk on and off. I'll be re-walking people through that don't know how to do the paper piecing. And we're going to make love blocks. And then we're going to save these love blocks, because in the spring, I want to do maybe we can all turn them into mug rugs. And if you're up for it, you can sign your block. And then what I would like to do is set up some, I haven't figured out how to set it up yet, but maybe we could trade our blocks with each other. Do like a block swap. and everybody will have made a love block their way with their colors. And then if we have, you know, they don't have all of everybody who wants to participate in the swap, sign up, and then we'll trade blocks. And these are easy to put in an envelope, even as a mug rug. You can, you know, gently fold them down, put them in an envelope, stick them in the mail. So even if it's an international swap, it's not going to be too bad price-wise to send it in the mail. So that's what I want to do during the 12-hour live, and then probably in the spring when all the weather's behaving itself again, because I really don't want to do it in the winter, especially over here in Greenland, because I want to swap a block. And you know, it'll be easy on everybody because you're not dealing with snow and all this other crazy stuff that happens in the winter months. So I was thinking March probably be a good time to do it, or either April. And we'll do the block swap, and then everybody will have someone else's love block. Sound like fun for y'all? What do y'all think about that? Hey, Asa. Look who's in the chat. Hey, I like your little icon. Looks like a sailboat, or is that a lighthouse? Can't tell. Okay, so that's one of the things we're going to do during the 12-hour. The other thing we're going to do is we are going to have a trunk show. Some of you who are not sewers may never have heard the term trunk show. So this is how you can participate if you're not a sewer. If you do crafting of any kind, you can participate in the in the trunk show, and you can post your pictures over on my Facebook Greenland Quilter group. You can also email your pictures to me and let me share my email link in here. Because some people don't use Facebook. So here's the other way that you can send your pictures to me. And then throughout the live, I'm going to set aside an increment of time, and we're going to show several people's work. And so it's like, and we call it a trunk show because basically we're sharing other people's quilts or your own quilts, whichever you want to call it. And so everybody's going to get to see everybody else's work, which is a fantastic thing. What were you going to say?
Did you say that they could do other things, like if they were a knitter, or
if they're a knitter, a crocheter, a painter, whatever kind of
that
craft,
they can show their craft?
Yes.
And share it with us.
Yes.
That would be great. Everybody
is included. I'm not going to let, yeah. Even if you're a jewelry maker. I mean, that's a craft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way we can ask questions.
Yeah, exactly. So this live is not just about me. It's about bringing all y'all in and y'all sharing some part of your life with all of us through whatever it is you're making. And even if you're not making anything, still come. Okay. All right.
I have to say that, you know, if you're subscribed and you're a member, I would encourage you to join the live, Zoom, and participate. Like Katy said before, it could be for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, but just pop in and out. That way we actually get to see each other and get to know each other even more, and talk back and forth with each other, and not just have to type with each other, but actually get to talk back and forth and see what's going on and what your plans are. And
yep. And if you're a channel creator, come spend 10 minutes in the Zoom and tell everybody about your channel. Let's get the word out, man, and let's make it fun. Let's make it Christmassy. Let's make it New Year's. You know, whatever we do, we're going to share things with one another, and this will be how we can keep everybody smiling during this time frame.
This is our community.
Yep. It takes a village, and when you have a village, you can do anything just about. All right, we have some comments. All right. Pat says, I need to get my pattern printed off. Lori says, let's do it. Pat says, sounds like a plan. Then Soul says, thank you, Pat and everyone. And Nikolai says, who's ready for a Hershey's chocolate flavored syrup? I need ice cream. And Soul Sister says, I've been doing needlepoint since age 9. Looky there.
Wow. She's probably really good.
Yeah. So what's the difference between needlepoint and cross stitching?
Well, I think stitching, you do X's a lot and half X's, and needlepoint, and you'll have to let us know, is it that you do more crewel, you do like the lazy daisies and, you do the fancier stitches?
Yeah, because
I don't know.
you've got cross stitch, needlepoint, and embroidery that you do by hand. So I know what the difference between cross stitches and embroidery is, but what's the difference with needlepoint? Soul Sister, can you tell us what needlepoint is?
Mm-hmm.
And she also made the comment that positive feedback loop is a great place to be. Yes, that's what I'm hoping to do with this live. Everybody come in and have a good time, and it'll be a good memory that we have made together.
Just get to know each other better.
Shelby was the one who stayed the entire 12 hours with me last year for the first one. See this bottle? Shelby, do you remember? Haven't drank any since then.
You're saving them for this year, huh?
Yeah, I'm not a big drinker, but I'll drink a shot of this because I like this for some reason. And it burns when it goes down, but
warms you up.
It does warm you up. Shelby says, "Oh yes," laugh out loud. See you later, babe. You must be leaving again. All right. So, yeah, and I'll keep yapping about the live every time we have a live. So, you're probably gonna get tired of hearing about it. But I want to make sure no man or woman is left behind. Okay. What is everybody working on today?
Yeah, what are you working on? Are you still sewing for Christmas presents, or did you guys get them done? We only got how many days now? 3?
3?
Oh, till Christmas Eve, 3 days.
Yeah, Wednesday's New Year's Day or New Year's Eve.
You mean Christmas? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Christmas. I don't know why I said
it's the same, but a week later.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I was wondering if it was Tuesday that it was Christmas Eve or if it was Wednesday that was Christmas Eve.
I got all my sewing done for whatever I wanted to do.
Oh, it's Christmas Eve, which means I better take my butt to the store Monday and get anything I need left done.
Oh yeah, stores will be closed.
Yes, they will, and then they're like closed for 3 darn days.
Oh,
so
really?
That means that they have 3 days of Christmas here. So that means that the stores will be closed Tuesday,
That's because
Wednesday, and Thursday.
Wow. Well, it isn't Santa from Greenland.
No, North Pole, and I don't think.
I know, but Greenland's just about as cold.
It's almost about the North Pole, but not quite. But yeah, it's just as cold. Right now, you want to know what the temperature is? We are pretty cold. It is 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Yep, you heard right. Cold. 6 degrees. It's so cold that the snow crystal, the snowflakes look like little glass crystals on top of the snow outside.
Pretty. That's
it's
pretty.
Cool looking, but it's very cold, and the dog is like, "My feet, Mama, it's hurting my feet." I'm like, "Stop messing around and do your business. You wouldn't be having ouchy feet." Okay. Pat says she's sewing on her granddaughter's quilt. Someday it will be done. I'm also doing some knitting. Cool. Soul Sister says, needlepoint is multiple stitches and different reference points directly on cloth. Oh, so you're using regular fabric.
Yeah.
Sounds like. Okay. So we should have to Soul Sister, can you join the Greenland Quilter Facebook group and share some of your needlepoint so we can see what it looks like? I would really love that if you did. Okay. Pat says, I already read hers. Carissa says paper piecing still putting off Christmas projects. Haha. Shelby says colder than it ever gets here. Our record low is like 10 degrees Fahrenheit and it's almost 15 Fahrenheit with drizzling rain today in Seattle area. I haven't seen this cold here in years. Soul Sister says needlepoint is an umbrella term for multiple works with textile and needles. Oh, okay. Gotcha. That sounds interesting.
Okay.
All right. Now I need to figure out where I am on this.
You're gonna start your project, huh? See what's.
Yeah, I need to see.
I know
where I am on it.
Anyone else sewing anything tonight while we're on the chat and live? Anybody making anything or sewing for yourself?
Yep. Share with us what you're working on. Okay. I was going to ask them something else too.
You could put one of your poll questions up.
Yeah, the poll's up. Let's see where we are on it. Let's see what. Okay, so the question on the poll, if you haven't done the poll, I'm about to read it and make sure you vote because we want you to have your voice heard too. Which do you prefer? Attending classes to build skills or learning skills on your own? And you want to know what the numbers are right now? 38% says attending classes. 62% says learning skills on their own so far. Wow.
That's
I wish I could attend some class. That's really cool. And that was with 16 votes so far. Shelby says, I'm doing a few chores right now, but have been actively working on a quilted apron for my niece. Oh, quilted apron. I bet that sounds pretty.
That would be pretty.
I wanted to thank everybody who's already started sharing their pictures over on the Facebook Greenland Quilter page. Have you seen how many's been posted over there, Sherry?
A lot. You asked for it, girl.
Yeah, I asked for it. Not getting it. Good. It makes me happy.
We're giving it to you.
Yes, you are. I'm so excited that we're going to be sharing that on New Year's Eve so everybody can see each other's work. I'm just loving it.
I know there is some really good piecers, quilters out there that they've done. I think Frank, not that I want to leave anybody out, but I saw some of his and he's really good.
Yeah, y'all are impressive with your work. I
haven't seen one that isn't nice.
Yep. I'm totally.
Now, is there anybody that I have a question is that you're all either quilters or crafters, and has anyone in your family of the younger generation or even your children been interested in the same craft as you or any craft?
That's a good answer. That's a good question. Yeah, let's hear what tell us what family members like doing or don't do.
The daughter, but she doesn't. She's not. I bought her a sewing machine, but she's not. She says I don't have the patience. That she doesn't have the patience to learn.
What age is she?
She's old enough now. She's 50.
Oh, and she's not got the patience still. Oh, wow.
She says I just can't. She gets frustrated. But I have 6 grandsons and 2 great grandsons, and I have one that he got a sewing machine last year for Christmas, and he likes being able to sew. He goes and hems everybody's pants and does things like that. And I had one grandson that when he's like 30 now, I think, and when he was like 9 years old, I started showing him how to quilt, and we did just a 4-patch that we were doing. Well, when we moved down here, I took that with me. I couldn't not give it away or anything.
Yep.
Well, I came across it a few months ago, and I finished piecing it and putting it together, and I quilted it, and I sent it to him for and his wife for Christmas. And he says he was telling his wife all about how he learned how I was teaching him how to quilt, and I made sure the label said that his name was on it, and the year he started on it, and that I finished it. So hopefully it was a good memory for him, I think.
Yeah, my grandson seems to be interested in this. The last time I was in the United States, I was watching, because we were sharing the same sleeping room, and he was he would watch the lives that I was watching, and he's like, "Grandma, is that a blanket?" "Yeah." "Did they make that?" I'm like, "Yes." And he sat there. He was totally enthralled by what was going on the live. He was just, and I asked him, I said, are you interested in that? And he says, "Yes, this is very cool, Grandma." So I think the next time I get to spend time with him, I'm going to buy a sewing machine to leave at Thomas's, and I'm going to teach him how to use the sewing machine.
That's a good idea.
Yep. Because I think he
And
would
they
like
can
that.
go as far as fabric goes, if he needs to, with him being young, and that he
Yep.
can go to the secondhand stores and get cotton fabric or cotton clothing and make it into fabric.
Yep. Yep. We can do that.
While he's learning.
Yep. That's actually a great idea. That way you're not messing up expensive fabric while you're teaching them.
Right. And then who knows?
Go.
Yep.
Get men's cotton dress shirts and turn it into a quilt.
I know. I remember I had talked about why can't I remember her name now? That she's doing the slow stitch quilt with the brooks, which I'm interested in doing and that. But she went to like Goodwill, and she looked for clothing that was made of linen, and she's putting that on the back, and they're different colors.
Wow.
And she says linen's very healing, like it's natural, a natural cotton in that. And I thought, well, that's a good idea, but it's handwork. You're not gonna sew it together by machine. Well, you could, with a zig, but this is all done by hand and that. So I'll look up I'll find out who it is, because it's a.
Diana says her mom used to sew and cross stitch. Pat says none of my kids or grandchildren sew, but that's okay. One granddaughter draws pictures, but that's about it. Soul Sister says practically every woman in our family, both elder and younger, loves to knit, crochet, sew by hand or by machine. It seems to be in our lineage. And hello, John. Thank you for stopping by. It's good to see you. Now he's left and gone back to work again. Okay. I can. So one of the things that with my kids is Kristen was interested in, and she's sewn a little bit, but she's picked up learning how to garden. And as most of you know, I'm a master gardener. I've been gardening since I was 11 years old. And so now I'm teaching her. She'll message me and she'll show me what a plant looks like. She says, "Mom, what am I doing wrong?" And because I can tell by looking at the plant, I usually know the answer to it. And then she'll say, "Well, what do I do?" And then I'll ask her, I said, "Well, where did you have it at?" It's the first question of the day, because some of the stuff's inside. And let's see how many can answer this question. What's the number one killer of all indoor plants?
Daughter would say herself. She says she can't grow anything, she says.
Yep. But there's a reason why she's killing it. What's the #1 killer of all indoor plants? Let's see who knows the answer. Shelby got it. Overwatering. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I figured it was overwatering or underwatering, one or the other.
underwatering, a plant can last a long time from not getting water. Okay, so this is the reason why plants die from overwatering. When you're growing plants indoor, you have lower light. Now you're probably saying, well, I can root plants in water. Why do they not die when they're standing in water? So I'm going to explain this whole science. It's like a science thing. When you can root plants in water and they can live indefinitely in that water. And the reason is because the roots are oxygenating the water. There's no media to prevent oxygenation from, oh my God, oxygenation, that word is teasing me, from occurring in the water. Now, once you move a plant to a media, which would be potting soil, the way the plant moves oxygen changes. It uses more of the oxygen exchange in the top half of the plant and less of it in the bottom half of it. It still uses some, but the media and everything changes the way it does it. So if you go and you make that plant stand in potting soil by overwatering, plus you have two things playing against the plant. Lighting is different than outside, and then you're watering. And depending on light will depend on how much you water a plant. So if you have extreme low lighting, you would barely water that plant. In fact, you probably wouldn't water that plant but once a month. But the higher the light, the more you can water. So most people overwater because they think that their plant's going to die, and it won't die unless you absolutely go months without watering. But you can, and it takes a while before a plant actually dies from underwatering. And what the reason they die is when the root ball is soaking wet, they suffocate. And because they can't move oxygen through the roots, the suffocation process starts, and then the rotting starts. And once a plant, and there's a color that the plant will turn. It'll turn it's almost like a grayish cast to the green. And like when I came back from California, I had a 10-year-old Hoya hanging in here. And when I walked in there, I'm like, my plant is dead. And Hanifa says, it's not dead. I said, it's dead. She says, how do you know? I said, can you see that grayish tint? Yeah. I said, how much you want to bet you put too much water in that basket? She says, how would you know that? I said, because I could tell by looking at the plant. So I went over there, and sure enough, it was standing in water. And that's what
my.
It was 10 years old. It just started flowering. I wasn't mad at her though. I knew I would probably come home to find dead things because I was gone quite a long time. That I was gone 6 months because I kept getting sick and couldn't leave. So that's what the #1 killer of. So right now with Kristen, she's learning, and she says, well, what should I do? I said, well, I'll tell you what you should do, but a lot of times when I give her the advice, then she goes and asks somebody else, and she does it their way, and she ends up killing the plant anyway. So now what I started doing is I'll tell you what I think should be done, but you're going to have to learn your way and do you. And if you kill plants, keep a journal and say this is what you were doing when you killed the plant. So the next time you have that same plant, you'll know not to do that the second go around. Because that's how I learned, especially when it comes to taking plants inside during the winter months. I learned just like anybody else. I've killed my fair share of plants. Not as many as she's killed, but I've killed quite a bit. But it comes by learning and doing. Soul Sister says, I met Latch Hook. Oh, I've done Latch Hook a long time ago. I don't know why I didn't stick with that. It wasn't that hard to do.
It's pretty.
It's interesting to do. Especially because I think I used yarn for latch hooking, if I remember right. I wonder what I actually made a piece out of it. I don't know what I've done with it though. That's interesting. Hey Joyce, and hello. Well, I gotta say, hey Joyce JK and hey Joyce H. Welcome, welcome. And I love when Joyce JK calls me Katy Bug. That's my nickname. I love it. All right. Now let's get on with this next block, D. So we need, how many of these? 4. So last time y'all saw me working on this. Now what we're going to do is more flying geese with this. So we're using this color to make 4. And I'm using A, which is this red. And that's what I'm just going on to these to make the flying geese. So I'm going to need 16. Hey, John, how you doing? It's been a while since I've seen you. Where you been? These boutiques are stuck together a little bit.
Yeah, this quilt that I mean these blocks I'm working on. I had pressed all the seams one direction. Yeah. But when I went to cut it, it's like the rotary cutter wanted to catch on the seams because there were so many seams because you're strip piecing. So I'm opening them up. I'm letting them be flat, and I think that it'll be nicer when I go to cut it too. So
yeah, I like sewing with, or pressing with open seams.
yeah,
my work
more
looks
people,
better.
yeah, more people are doing that now.
Well, it's aggravating when you're trying to nest a seam, having them go two different directions, and when you run it under the machine, it moves, and then you rip it out and you try it again, and it keeps moving. You're like, this is annoying to me. I'm not trying to do perfection. I just want it to look like it should, you know?
See these pins?
Yeah.
They're like fork pins. I ordered them, but I haven't tried them yet.
Oh, I was gonna say, have you? Because I have some.
And you can put it between your seams where it's at.
Let me spotlight
I
you
mean,
so I
if you
know what you're doing.
wanted to nest.
Oh.
So if I wanted to match my seams, I could put this up against each other. Let me say, of course, and then put my pin in, my fork pin. I didn't do very good putting that in, but anyhow, then you
I'll
can
have
match
to
it.
try that and see if that doesn't fix the problem.
Well, when I thought it would be good is when you're doing your half square triangles and everything when you go to the diagonal and you want to sew over that diagonal.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you would put a pin in there in that area, and then you'd put a pin on the left side and a pin on the right side, and you'd sew up to it.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't move. Uh, this is actually doing that
For you.
with one pin.
Oh, cool. Hey,
John.
I'm gonna comment on John's comment real quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
John says he's been having a bit of a bad time, hoping things get better. We're here for you if you need anything, okay? I'm not going to ask what's going on, but if you need us, we're here. So just let us know if you need prayer or if you need someone sending good thoughts, just let us know what you need. And I'm sorry that you're having a hard time right now. Come hang with us, and maybe we can lighten your spirit a little bit.
Yeah.
Katy Bugs she wants to know what I'm working on. I'm working on my Tree of Life Hope clue number 4. Joyce says, Cherry, I need to try mine. So she has the pins too. Sherry.
Mine, but I know that they'll work.
And then Shelby says, I've never had much luck with those fork pins, but I know lots of people like them. And then, hey, Herman, welcome. If you have a channel, type the word exclamation, use the exclamation mark, and then write selfie, and you can share your channel link. I've set the bot so that you can share your links. How you doing, Herman? Hey, Herman, his channel's like a, can you describe your channel to us?
Variety channel.
He has like a variety channel, yeah. Can you describe it to us a little bit? What they would find on your channel? Hey Joe, welcome, welcome. I've been running into Joe over on Tuber Chat's channel. Tuber Chat is a channel that helps small channels by helping share the channel, giving really great advice. The man is a vessel of knowledge, let me tell you.
You still have me showcased, Katie.
Thank you for reminding me. I'm really bad about that part.
I just looked up and saw it, so.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to turn it off. That's one of the things, that's the biggest thing I do is forget to turn that spotlight off. So anyway, I'm making flying geese right now. And Herman shared his channel for anyone interested in taking a look.
Good. I'm gonna write that down.
Soul Sister says it's more of a lifestyle and uh-oh, she stopped. She deleted it. When I see your name, Soul Sister, it makes me think of that song about soul sisters.
Yeah. We're your
Catching,
sisters, huh?
yeah, there's a song about soul sisters.
I'm writing down Herman's channel so I can look it up later.
There's quite a variety of channels that go into the Tuber Chat channel. Some there's lots of different subjects actually. There's one where someone's taking old movies that were made back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and they're making little mini movies out of them and they're showing them on YouTube. And it's funny because I was watching one the other day and I don't it was a black and white. There's a lot of black and white ones. And so it was a black and white short movie. And I didn't think I would sit very long and watch that particular one, but I got interested in it. It was pretty interesting. And then there was some Tarzan ones I've been watching that they did remake or spliced them all together. So it's been really interesting.
Say home, it's at home. No, Amazon Prime is having a movie, a Christmas movie, and it's featuring a lot of quilts. It's based around quilters.
Really?
And that's supposed to be, yeah, that's supposed to be coming out, I think, tonight or tomorrow.
What's the name of it?
Well, it's not up here in my head no more, but it's premiering, so
Okay, I'll look into that.
yeah, if you go on Amazon Prime, you should be able to see something about it.
Yeah, because I
Find
have
it.
Amazon Prime, so
Yeah. What's interesting is the movies that they have quilts in them. Somebody here, they made those, and some people say, do you have the movie industry will say, contact somebody and say, do you have a quilt that I
yeah.
could use in the movie? And I knew somebody who had their quilt in one of the movies and that, and
Oh, look, someone knows the name of it. Joe says there's a oh wait, it's a different movie. There's a Hallmark movie called The Christmas or A Christmas Quilt. And then Denise said Lady Marmalade is what I think of.
oh yeah, that's right. For the sister, soul sister.
Yeah. Soul Sister. I'm gonna have to find that. Can't play it on here, but I'll have to find it. But it's a good song.
Yeah, it is. Movie A Christmas Quilt. Well, I'm gonna look that up too.
Yeah. Look at all y'all sharing knowledge. I'm waiting for this channel to show some old black and white Godzilla movies. They may not be able to. I don't know because Toho owns all of that. So,
Yeah,
but
we haven't seen any of those in a long time.
yeah, it brought up memories of when I saw the black and white. I'm like, I was telling the owner of the channel. I said, I used to watch. I can remember watching Godzilla in black and white because I used to, on Friday nights. I must have been 9 or 10 years old. I would watch Creature Feature Night, and on Creature Feature Night there was Godzilla and other monster movies. Um, but I think most of the Tarzan ones, I don't remember seeing them in black and white. I don't think. But I do remember watching the old Tarzan movies in color that were back then.
Christmas movie that they like, that they have to watch every year. I think it's A Christmas Story or something like that. My daughter has to watch.
Oh, I never showed Christmas movies when the kids were growing up.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we watched some, but it wasn't. I handled Christmas different than most people because of.
Yeah. They didn't have a lot of Christmas. Well, I don't remember them. I remember 'em more
Yeah, I don't.
as an adult.
I didn't have cable TV because that was one of the things I sacrificed. We had internet when it came out, but we didn't have. I spent more time buying movies for them, and the problem was is with the kids, you couldn't get them to sit through any movie for more than if a movie was an hour and a half long, you might get them through 50%, and then they wanted to go outside and play. That's what they would. That's what they rather did. Unless it was a movie that was really really fun, and then they would sit through one. And then they got old enough to want to
Hours
go
of
to the
Christmas.
theater, and then of course you got to sit through the movie if you're going to pay a high price for a movie. Denise S says you are singing
Yeah.
Tree. Hey, soul sister. Yeah, that song. And she said she was thinking of Patti LaBelle. And
Oh,
Soul
yeah.
Sisters, there's a couple songs with the Soul Sisters theme to it. As long as it's elevating and uplifting for all, I support it. Soul Sister said they watched whatever was on PBS. Yep, I watched a lot of PBS too when I wasn't outside digging in the dirt. I could tell you that my kids will tell you that there was times when I would make food that would be cooked in a crock pot or something, and it would be cooking, and I would be outside until dark. And one of them would come out, Mom, do you know what time it is? No, but it's dark. Because I was just so into it.
It probably brings you like peace,
It
you
did.
know.
It was a way when I was growing up, it was my little escape from all the violence that was going on in the house.
My kids go outside no more.
No,
Things have changed.
you almost can't let your kids be outside though because things are
No,
so
you
unsafe.
can't. You can't not without an adult.
Yeah.
It's just not safe.
No.
I remember when I was a kid and my dad wouldn't let me cross the street.
Yeah.
Thought he was so strict. But now as a parent, I understand.
Yep.
He was just being protective.
It was like I told my kids, you're allowed to go around this block, but no further because where we lived at, a 12-year-old kid decided to get on the road was called Country Club Road, which was only a block and a half away from our house. And I always was worried that if I let them wander too far away from the house, they would get brave and cross that road. And especially after that child got killed on his bike. And so I would tell them this is, and I took them in the truck to show them where they could go. And one day the girl said, Mom, we're going to take Sophie for a walk. The oldest one told me a lie. She and her younger sister took the dog and crossed that road that I was so afraid of crossing, just to sneak off down the road 4 blocks to go to the store and buy candy. And when I realized they were gone too long, I asked Tom, because Thomas didn't go for some reason, which was weird. I said, why didn't you go with them? I didn't want to. He knew what they were going to do, I think. And he just didn't say nothing. And so I went looking for them. And when I couldn't find them where they were supposed to be, I got scared. You know, that feeling you get in your stomach?
It would. Yeah.
You know, oh my God, because my daughters, you know, they're still beautiful, but when they were that young, they were cutie pies. And so I thought to myself, well, they're not here. Let me go check the main road. And lo and behold, the oldest one was crossing in traffic with the dog in tow, but not the younger sister. And so when I caught up with her and told her to get in the truck, I said, where's Kristen? I left her at the store, and I'm like, you did what? Because Kristen was 3 years younger than her. And I think Lynn was 11 maybe. And she never did that again. And then about 6 months down the road, she came to me and she says, Mom, I understand now why you have punished me for breaking a trust and why you don't trust me. And now I get it. She learned a lesson about lying and breaking trust. Because I wouldn't let them go around the block after that.
The kids, they do try things.
They do. They think they're not going to get hurt. And us parents, all we see is, you know, we need to protect our children.
Yeah. Somehow
thankfully they didn't get hurt or nothing, but it was a scary time for when that happened.
Yeah, it would be, especially, you knowing that they were crossing that road.
That road was a tough road, let me tell you, because the road we lived, the road that we lived in that run into that road was up on a hill. So you couldn't see oncoming traffic coming from the one direction. So if a kid was I think that's why the kid got hit, is because when he was crossing over, a car was coming up the hill and hit it. And that's why I always feared about them getting on that road.
Yeah.
And that young man was 12 years old. But you know, they all learned a lesson, and you know, they never broke another rule because they understood that the rules were to keep them safe, not to make their life miserable, you know.
Yeah, but you know, when we were kids, you think it's to make your life miserable instead.
I know, right?
Mom and Dad don't let me do nothing. Yep. They get very protective when they're young.
I did it one time when I was in the 2nd grade, I think. We lived down in Orlando, and every day I walked home from school with a friend, and she would get, and then at some point she would get off where she was going to go, and I would continue my way home, and I never ventured from it. But one day she kept, every time we were walking, she's, you got to come see this lake I live on. You got to come see this lake. I'm like, no, I'll get in trouble. And one day I gave in. And so we're sitting on the dock with our feet in the water. And, you know, when you're in the 2nd grade, you have no sense of time. And before I knew it, the sun was setting. And I scared my parents half to death. They had every cop in Orlando looking for me. And when I realized it was late and I started walking home, a cop picked me up. He says, are you Catherine Diane Oglesby? Yes, sir. Your parents are so upset right now because they thought something bad happened to you, because there was some crazy person picking up kids during that time frame. And yeah, I never did that again. because my mother was hysterical. And my
Yeah,
dad.
there's a relief when you know that they're okay, but there's a panic when you
Yep.
otherwise.
Do you hear someone yipping at me?
Yeah, and she got her pepper and everything earlier.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take her out probably in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, let me backtrack here before I do that.
Okay.
Herman says 24 hours of A Christmas Story. Soul Sister says we watch PBS. Joyce says to Herman, yes, my favorite Christmas movie. Then Vintage Joe says family tradition for the family is to sit and watch Polar Express.
Oh yeah,
Nikolai loves Polar Express.
that was a good one.
Soul Sister says we had to be more creative and be that weaver of joy. When I was a kid, Joyce says, when I was a kid, we would ride our bikes all over the city. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to do any of that.
My brothers could, but we couldn't. The girls couldn't.
Us girls couldn't. Nope.
John has said that the movie on Prime is Fabric of Christmas.
Oh,
That's
now
the name. That's the name of it.
All right, let me write that down so I don't forget the name.
Thank you, John.
Thank you for looking that up. Can you keep an eye out while I take her out?
Yeah, sure.
If you don't mind. I'll be right back, you guys.
Okay.
I don't, she's going to start barking.
Yeah. So what do you guys want to talk about? I'm just sewing long strips together right now. And then I'll end up cutting some of my triangles. Anybody okay, that went in and out of my head real fast. Anybody have that problem? Yeah, I hope to it's talking about my channel the first of the year to really get busy on it and start doing it is it I wanted to know like I said, I'm a long armor and I like to do videos. Is anybody interested in seeing how a long arm a person does a quilt? Or is there any certain things that you'd like to see? Anything you want to learn that you'd like to be shown? Just type it in the chat and we'll talk about it. Let's see. That's going to be 5.5. So anyhow, again, this is the pattern I'm doing. And I'm going to have the back fabric. I'm going to have it scrappy too. I'm doing white, but I have some gray with white swirls in it. And this is what you do here. Whoops, let me get it just right for you. See how you make your strips, and then you'll cut them with your triangle ruler. And oops. This shows the layout. So it's not a hard quilt to do. Think you can see that? I think this would be pretty in Christmas colors, batiks. You don't have to do it scrappy, but Okay, Pat. Yeah, I'll do that, and I'll put it on. If there's any particular thing that you want to know, since you have got yourself a handy quilter, if you have any questions that maybe I can help you with, I mean, if it's loading, uh, the quilt backing, the batting, the top. Some people like to have everything secured down the top, but other people do what they call floating, where the top is secured at the top, but the bottom floats. Um, I'll go over how to keep things square as you're quilting. If you have a mistake that you are that happened and it's like a uh-oh moment, how to fix it or get back on track. So I'll kind of do that, and then I'll just let everybody see how it runs and that. But it's fun. I really enjoy it because when you're done with your piecing, there's certain parts of the piecing that I really like to do, and that. But then when I get the quilt, start getting it on and start quilting it, then I feel like, okay, now it's come to life, and I really enjoy that part. Yeah, Pat, you can. Yeah, I think my email is on my channel, and if you have any questions, anything like that, you can email me. Um, I don't mind. Is it okay to give my email out, Katie?
Yes, yeah, you can do it.
Okay, it's Sherry Yurton. Let me type it in. And then that way, if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Oh, Pat bought herself a long arm.
I
Cool.
know. That's
Thank
what we're
you.
talking about.
Thank Pat. It is cold outside, you guys. Nora's lifting her feet like, oh, it hurts.
She needs. Hey, you need to knit her some booties.
I don't know
Of
whether
course,
she
and
doesn't
that
want her.
sticks. That'd
Yeah.
stick, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
She
I
needs.
know you can buy boots for dogs, but the problem is with Dachshunds, their front feet are bigger than their back feet.
Yeah. So
Have you seen when she gets dried off a little bit? I'll show you how big her front feet are.
yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Now that I
honey.
think about it, that kind of gives them the angle of their body.
The paws are there. The front paws are big because they were used for hunting varmints with. So they would pull badgers out of their dens, and the standard Dachshund can pull a fox out of a den. And so
Wow.
these big front paws are used for digging.
Yeah, everyone on Katie's channel, make sure that you like, subscribe, and that you share. Sharing the channel helps a lot. So if you have somebody you can share with, share it.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Joyce JK, no, I'm not putting extra borders on. She asked that earlier and I forgot to answer that question.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. I meant to answer that earlier and got distracted. Yeah, no extra borders for me. I'll tell you something. I really don't like doing borders. I like binding, but I don't like doing borders. But I'll do them
well,
because it's part of the pattern. I just don't like doing it.
how, and there's different ways to do board. I don't like piano keyboarders. I don't even like to quilt piano keyboarders, but
Good man,
because they're,
piano key.
yeah. But if the borders aren't bad if you measure right. Like I always told everybody, measure the middle of your quilt, going the widthwise for the top and the bottom. And whatever that measurement is, that's what you cut your length of your border. Then you sew that on and you measure the middle going up and down. It could be reversed if you wanted it to be. And then you cut the border that way. But you have to pin the borders on the middle, center the middles, the edges, and then start working it in, because your quilt may not be quite square enough, but you can work that in pretty good by doing the pin in the middle, the two edges, and then work from the middle to the edge, and then
that makes sense. Yeah. It makes lining it up better.
Yeah, it eases it in the fabric if it needs to be.
Because I know they say that you should cut whatever the measurement says to cut to do the fabric borders with, not to do extra because of something about it could create a wave.
Well, yeah, what it is that they're thinking that if you just, let's say your quilt measures 54 and you let's say you cut a 57 or a 58-inch piece, you said, and you put it on and think, I'm going to cut at the end of that border after I have it sewn.
Yeah.
You haven't eased any of your quilt into that border. So if it was off by 1/8 of an inch or whatever, or 1/4 of an inch, you could ease your quilt and borders together. So it makes it square. Otherwise, you're going to get have you ever seen a quilt that at the bottom, the border goes out to the left or out to the right?
Yep. Yep.
That's because they haven't put the borders on. They're just the right way,
Oh, okay. Got ya.
Well, that was a quickie lesson, wasn't it, everybody?
I love how we all have knowledge of different subjects that we can share with one another. Especially when we can share it with newer people, that's just getting started.
Yeah. Oh, there's always so many questions, when you're.
Yep. Let me ask all of y'all a question. Now, there might be some new ones in here. So if you're a newbie, let me know that you don't have an answer for this question. But for the rest of you, what do you wish you would have known in the beginning of making quilts that you know now, that you wish someone would have told you? What do you wish someone would have told you in the beginning that you know now?
Throughout time, there's a lot of things, but
I wish someone would have explained to me why we do 1/4 inch seam allowances.
Yeah.
Because I used to make clothes and you don't use a 1/4 inch, you use a 3/8 or something.
I think it's the way that they end up cutting whoever designed how to do the angles and cut everything. Yeah. Why is it that a 1/4 inch is enough in a quilt, but in a garment? I guess because a garment's going to have more stress on it, the seams. That's right. That's true.
Vintage says pressing advice. Pat says make sure you have a good 1/4 inch. Lori says how important measuring a quarter is. Joyce says this is something else. Okay. Yep. Anyone else want to share their? Did somebody sneak in here? I didn't see sneak in here. Oh, I must have been seeing things. Okay. Yeah. What do you wish you had known when you first started that you know now? 5/8 is what Joyce says. I knew it was something bigger. That's for sure. Denise says that I was going to spend thousands of dollars on fabric and notions that I will never use. Oh no.
Yeah. All the rulers. How many of the same ruler size do you have, but in a different brand?
Yep.
I got to share something.
Go ahead.
I just remembered when we talked about rulers.
Okay.
Okay. I have, now I'm good at telling you what I've found, but I can't remember the people's names. But they talked about, here's your ruler. Okay. And you know how when you put it on the fabric and you're
Slides.
cutting it and it'll slide, especially your 24-inch.
Yep.
Well, a lot of people are using the weights, and I think that's a great idea. Put a weight on the very top of it because that's where it'll go out on you. But I had found out on YouTube, but I don't remember. I tried to find the video in my history and I couldn't. There is a product that is called grip tape for skateboards. This is for skateboarders. Okay, it comes in a roll.
Would you look at this? Something that doesn't get sold in a quilt shop.
I know. And it feels like the heavy sandpaper, like the heavy grit.
Yeah.
Take crafting scissors, not your good scissors. And I cut like a strip like this.
Yeah.
Then I cut smaller strips. Can you guys see that? When you take the
I
paper
wouldn't
off
have
the
even
back,
realized that's what that was. Wow.
when you take not this pink one, but this one.
The light colored white color. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's opaque, so you can still
Yep.
see the markings through it. And it has if you take the paper off the back and you stick it on it, your rulers won't slide on you. And see how you can still see the numbers through it?
Yep, definitely.
And that was really inexpensive. And of course, and I looked it up on Amazon, but
Yeah, that's a great.
yeah, it works great. It's like I thought, okay. So I wanted to share that with you.
You'll have to share the exact name of it over on the Greenland Quilter group so we can.
Okay.
Don't mind. Because yeah, that's wonderful.
Put it in here. It's called.
That way they can find it if they see it in writing,
Yeah.
Hello to Lisa. She just came in. Awkward Quilter. Now I got that song in my brain. That Soulful song. It's like, okay, now I'll have to listen to it so I can disengage my brain from it.
Yeah, all this says is it's grip tape. And that's what I put in the search box is grip tape
Okay.
for skateboards. And I had.
What a wonderful idea. I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, and look how much I get. There's tons. You could share this with, there's a foam in the center there, but it's over a quarter of an inch.
Nice.
You could share it with people.
Yep, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I will put it. I'm going to write a note to put it in the Greenland Quilter.
These doggone triangles are going to get me a little bit fatty, I think.
Your triangles. Are you doing the paper with
No,
it?
these are pre-cut die cut.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
these flying geese, I always struggle with flying geese for some weird reason.
And when you sew your flying geese,
Yeah,
do you go from the center to the edge or from the edge to the center? When you
from the edge to the center, I think.
try one, like when you put your square down.
Yeah.
And you have your diagonal, try one sewing it from the center down to the corner.
Okay.
But you want to make it a little bit scant, you know, how they do.
Okay.
Yeah, see if that makes a difference for you at all. And you can sew them either way. There's no right or wrong.
No.
I like to do it from the center out because I'm always afraid that my corner's going to get stuck in my machine. You know, the material's going to get stuck down in the needle plate.
Yep. Vintage Joe says that her flying geese don't look like they're supposed to either, and she's got a sad face.
Aww.
I always struggle with them for some weird reason.
It can be tricky for
Shelby says, yeah, sew from the long edge, not from the pointy edge.
Yeah. And there's so many different methods of making flying geese, you know? So you could
remember that, start from the long side instead of the short side like I usually do.
Yeah, yeah, and see if it looks good. What? That looks good. It doesn't look like you had a problem with that.
Look at how little space there is right here, though.
That could be their cut. And just go a little bit. Yeah, that could be their cut.
And the weird thing is this one here is not like that, but this one is.
It's all your triangles the same.
Yeah. And this one is. It's three of the four have that narrower area above that point, and the other one doesn't. I don't get it.
I'm trying to think of you.
Wait a minute, you're doing something else. If you have a machine with a wide needle hole, it is easy for the points to get pulled into the machine. Actually, I've not been seeing that happen with this one.
If you use a leader and like a piece of fabric, you can avoid that. That'll help.
Yeah, because I always put a leader at the beginning anyway, but I haven't had that trouble. But I also, this machine does have what they call a high performance system on it, so I could change the plate out. The only reason I haven't is because I need to buy a. You can't use the same feet on that high performance plate. And it came with some feet for the high performance, but it didn't come with the 1/4-inch foot that has the little edge on it. But they do make them for the high performance. So I need one.
I have a single needle, the single hole plate, but I don't put it on because my luck is that I'd use the zigzag and have only the single hole on. I'd forget about that plate.
I think a lot of people are. I've heard that mentioned about, but I have never used the zigzag on this. I know it has it, but I've never used. It's interesting with my Janome. I'm only using like 20% of what it's capable of doing.
Yeah, Math Geek, he is correct. It says that if you have a big needle in there, that it can pull the points into the machine.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So a finer needle can work good. And Joyce says she's going to try hers in the middle and see how they turn out. You might have to just adjust your stitch line either to the right or to the left just a little bit.
Well, I already have this needle's already set to the 1/4-inch seam. The needle's been moved to the right because this machine does that.
Okay.
So, but it must be something I'm doing that's causing this, because I'm pretty sure it's not the machine. I think it's me.
Um,
And for
think if
now,
you
I'm
did
going
it,
to let it slide and leave it alone.
that's, yeah.
I'm not going to get all stressed out about it.
You still have almost a quarter of an inch, so
Yeah, I just have to be careful not to cut the point off when I sew the seam.
yeah.
Let me see here. Shelby says, yes, indeed, you have to be careful about that. And then she says, one of the reasons I love my Juki, it only does a straight stitch. I don't I don't know what number you would press to make the zigzag. I've never, well, it shows here you could, but I've never messed with it. I'm too busy straight stitching everything. Use the Janome features. It will be a game. Yeah, everybody's telling me if I switch over to the HB, it will be a HP system. It will be a game changer, and you'll never want to go back to the other way again. I just need to get that foot before I do that. All right, I got this part done. Now let's see what it wants me to do next. Okay, so we're going to sew these on top of A, this is A, and D is the pink. And it's going to
Just
go
don't
on.
mind me giving you suggestions with.
Yeah, I'm going to pay attention here in just a minute. I'm just making sure I got this.
No, I meant with if you're having a problem with something to try something, I hope you don't mind.
No, no, no. I'm all for learning more stuff.
Okay.
No, you will never hear me complain about someone giving me, try this. Why don't you try that?
Right.
Or one of those things might just work.
Right. It might make a difference.
And the other thing is the way y'all are sharing your knowledge. You're not being.
I know it's good that what they're coming up with.
Yeah. And which Janome do you have, Lisa? Because I have the 6700P. And I can show you that plate I'm talking about. This machine has all kinds of doodads on it. I just haven't learned how to use part of it yet. And I'm also a little, I guess what I need to do is get me some scrap fabric and just play.
Yeah.
And see what does what, you know?
And that way you also, it gives you a point of reference so that if you want, you can label it or whatever.
Yep.
So you know what stitch length or what width you use. So if you want to use it on something, you can just go to your sample.
Yep. I wish they had virtual classes for well, any machine actually. And
Well,
they
some do
explain things like why you should use this stitch length, and because this thing you can change the stitch length and the width of it, looks like.
Yeah. The stitch length or the width, like if you're doing a zigzag or the buttonhole stitch or something.
Yeah.
If you look at it and you go ahead and just the default one and you go ahead and you sew it on fabric, you can then know, well, I'd like this to be wider. I'd like this to be longer. And you can move it the setting just a little bit on those.
Yeah. Because it
So it's
allows.
yeah, it's kind of like personal preference. It's no right or wrong on
Yep.
that.
See, Joyce is like me. She learned garment sewing. That's how I learned to sew, was making my own clothes. And Lisa says she has the MC 8200 QCP. So she has a memory craft like I do, but hers is different than mine.
Whirly Quilter says, hello, everyone. Yeah, I was a garment sewer. I took sewing from 7th grade clear into my 11th grade. And I would have had to gone into the textiles on my 12th year. That didn't interest me as much, but it would now, but didn't then.
Didn't then, right? I
Uh-uh.
enjoyed doing home ec class because that's where I think that's where I got the bug to sew and make my own clothes.
I
And
know.
hello to Squirrely Quilter. Can you tell me again what your first name is so I can start tagging your first name with your start learning in my brain learning?
Zaza. Alexandra Burns, Zaza says hi, everyone.
Hey,
Hi,
Zaza.
Zaza.
Welcome. What time is it anyway?
6:30.
We've been going an hour and a half. We're doing pretty good. Because we started it at 8. Well, 8 my time,
Yeah.
5 o'clock your time, and I just dropped a straight pin, darn it.
Is there anyone, what kind of tool do you use for your sewing or your quilting that is not made for that? It might be a household tool or what. Does anybody have anything unique that they do that?
Yeah, you want to see mine?
Yeah.
We were talking about rulers a minute ago. If the camera moves, just bear with me for a minute because I'm using the same tool to make sure this camera doesn't fall over. So I have, for my long rulers, I have two 2-pound weights, and I have a 3 kilo. And that's what I place on my rulers. And the reason this is covered in plastic is because the texture on this, I'm afraid it might scratch. It feels a little bit rough feeling, and I was worried that it might scratch the ruler, so I put a plastic bag over it so that it wouldn't scratch the ruler.
That is, I said earlier that the weights I thought was a really good idea, especially with your 24-inch rulers.
Yep, and guess who I learned that from? Who has videos every week, and she uses weights on her long rulers? Anyone know?
It's not Becca, is it?
No. This is a person who's has a company actually that sells fabric, and it's not
Kimber. It's not.
No, Kimberly
Kimberly.
doesn't use weights either. It's Jordan Fabrics.
Wow.
She puts big barbell or whatever you call it on her rulers.
Linda, she uses antique irons on her ruler.
Yeah, I have one of those too.
I do. I might do that.
Those antique irons she's talking about, they also make great if you want your seam to be flat, and you know how we use the
we like the press, the
wood press. You can set that heavy iron on top of it too if it's not messed up underneath it, and it'll do the same thing because it takes the heat, you know.
That's a good idea. Yeah, my husband had gotten me one, and it's just sitting there on the shelf.
Joyce says pizza cutter for folding FPP. I would have never thought of that.
Pizza cut. Oh, yeah, that is a good idea. That would make it easy to take your papers off when you need to.
They all guessed Donna Jordan. So
except me.
Have you ever watched her videos?
I don't think I should. I don't think I have.
Because when she's making quilts, her videos is her making a quilt usually every time. And then at the end of the video, you can sign up for a drawing to win one of her quilts. And she gives them away to whoever in the world. You can
then I know I didn't.
In the world, and if your name is drawn, they mail it to you. Now, I've never won one, but boy, I would love to win one.
Yeah, I'll have to watch her. Oh, that's good. I use a baby bottle drying rack for my rulers. It's called the Boone Grass Drying Rack. That's Yo Patty G.
And Zaza says she has suction handrails meant for bathroom that I use my rulers use on my rulers. The bathroom ones are much cheaper than the sewing ones.
They
Wow.
they are.
Look at you guys sharing all your knowledge.
I use it.
Lisa says she uses a pastry wheel to mark sewing lines when quilting straight lines. Wow.
Hey, I gotta get up. I gotta see how many people know what this is. Which
Okay, and while you're doing that, I'm going to finish reading the rest. Joyce says cabinet cookie sheet holder for ruler rack. She also likes videos that Gordon uses because they're basic tools and doesn't try to upsell stuff. Yeah, I like her for that reason.
Mhm.
And she also says I use an IKEA photo shelf for her rulers.
Oh,
Isn't that cool?
yeah.
So what you going to show us? Let me spotlight you.
I know you know what this is. Most of
I
you
know,
guys
but
will.
hang on, let me spotlight you. Yeah, I know what that is. And anyone who is a garment sewer will know what that is.
Yep. Hey, you could use this in your paper piecing for folding.
I have one of those that has really long spikes on it. Have you ever seen one of those?
Yeah, I have one of those. This one was in my mom's stuff.
Yeah.
Dritz made it. It says Dritz tracing wheel.
Wow. Yeah, because that's what I use it for, tracing paper.
Yeah, remember the carbon paper we had?
Yep.
Put it between our fabric.
Yeah. So
maybe we should have a challenge of making something, a garment or whatever.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Since we haven't done that in a long time.
No,
well, you might have. I haven't. I want to make some pajama pants or something.
I want to make a nightgown.
Yeah.
You know, like a tank top, because I get hot easy. So that's why you see me wearing sleeveless all the time. It's because I can't stand to get hot in this house.
Would you put facings in it or go ahead and just turn it double?
Now, this is store-bought and looks like they turned it. But if I was making it, I would probably put interfacing in here.
Yeah.
Or,
you can take me. You can take me off spotlight if you want.
Okay. Shelby says my mom's tracing wheel is around here somewhere.
Oh.
And Zaza says the spiky ones are good for FPP too. Yeah.
Yeah. You know that you guys just gave me a really good idea because I love foundation paper piecing, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to go get my mom's spiky one, and I'm going to use it. That would be really nice. It's a good idea.
A lot today.
Yeah, they're giving us here. We think that we have to come up with some ideas, and here they're giving us good ones.
Yeah, they've got some hacks going on here. Someone says that she also uses a letter rack. That was Zaza.
That's good. That's a good thing.
Lisa says, I keep my rulers on the floor on the side of my sewing table, just enough room to keep them standing. Yeah, my long ruler is like running along the side of the shelf over here. Any other hacks y'all want to share with us?
Yeah, let me see what I asked the question and now, but I don't have an answer for, like, what do I use? Well, everybody uses the metal trays now. That was for automotive. That was the screws that you could, when you took screws out of things, and you could put them in those magnetic bowls.
Oh yeah.
And that everybody's
got one of those.
Probably doing that, but that's nice.
Here's a hack.
You want to know what? I got a hack.
See
this?
You've probably seen this. Yeah,
oh,
go ahead.
Sorry, you go, Katy. You go.
This is a small magnet that came in one of my sew sampler boxes. And so I took one of these long sticks I happen to have in this cold room, and I took duct tape and I duct taped it to the stick. And now I just go down on the floor and pick up pins that way. That's my hack.
I knew you were going to say. You know the things for your phones that so you can
Yep.
put your fingers through?
Yeah, you got one on the ruler.
I put it on the ruler.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, it goes down so that when you're traveling, so
To be flat. Yeah.
you can get these at Dollar General or whatever. Wire record album. Oh, that would work good for rulers.
Yeah, that's
Thrift store
right.
fine. Since they hold 33s, they hold the big square rulers.
Oh, yeah, that's really cool. Thank you for that one, Brenda.
Yeah.
Hey, Joy T, and then welcome Brenda to the channel. Let's see. Zaza says I have an old jewelry box for all of my sewing machine attachments. Oh,
That's a good idea.
that is a great idea. Next time I go to the United States, I'm going to find me an antique jewelry box. That is excellent idea.
You know the cigar boxes that they used to have that I didn't know until I went. They have dividers in them, and for some of my older machines that I have, I would put the feet and stuff like that in there, and
I didn't know they
like
had dividers in them.
yeah, they have dividers in there.
Oh,
Got the lids that'll open or slide.
that's cool.
You know, yeah, and you can go well if you can find a place like that. If you can stand to go in and smell the place, they have they'll give them to you free.
So I bet I want here's another hack I have. You know, if you go to Costco, if you're one of those that likes those jelly, they're vitamin jelly, vitamin C jelly, what do you call them again?
Gummies?
Yes. They're
Gummies?
vitamin C gummies and they come in these really tall bottles. And because I don't have access to like one of those medical sharps canisters, this is what I put all my sharps in.
That's a good idea.
And this will take a long time to fill up.
You can put your old rotary blades
I have
in it.
my rotary blades in here, bent straight pins, anything Sharpie like that, I put in here.
That's
so
good.
That's my other hack. And on the outside, I took my Sharpie pen and I put on your sharps.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when
that way,
full,
when you
then I can deposit it to the people who pick up my trash.
Right, and when then they know it's labeled. They know what it is.
Yep.
That's a good idea. Let me see. When you have lived, Denise says, when you have lived long enough, there isn't a trick hack you don't know about. That is why they say everything old is new again. That's true. Just wish things cost the same as they did. Yeah. Except that was expensive for us way back then too, because we didn't make as much per hour. Alexandra says she got, I said that about the thrift stores that she had gotten. And all the compartments are great for the sewing machine feet. That's a good idea for the jewelry box. Joyce, you didn't get it. They were great. Storing power too. Empire Kitchen Island on Facebook.
So I want to show you guys. Oh man.
She Andrea Zaza uses a kitchen island. Oh, yeah. Good idea for her cutting station. And the height would be perfect for cutting then.
That's
by these toolboxes that not the toolboxes, but the chests with all the drawers in them that the guys have for the garage.
Yeah.
I have 2 of them in my cutting tables on that.
Oh, that's a great hack.
It works really, really good because then I got the drawers I can pull out and I put all my miscellaneous rulers and my rotary cutters and stuff like that in there. So yeah, a kitchen island. Even if you can get a vanity
Yep.
If somebody's, go to the, what do they call it, store or rehome and Salvation Army. They have a store, and all the construction stuff. You can get that stuff pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And then you can put casters on the bottom, roll it away, roll it in, up against the wall, away from the wall.
Those tool chests are great, but they're
Yeah.
really expensive here. Zaza lives in Scotland.
Oh, okay.
So us European folks, well, Greenland's not European, but we buy from Europe. And she's right, some stuff is crazy priced.
I think that they're kind of expensive here too.
They used to be more affordable. You used to buy one for $100 and it had like 10 drawers on it, because my first husband, he was an aircraft maintenance so he did sheet metal work. He fixed the skins of jets. And so he took and modified one of those big tool cabinets. He had 2 of them, and all of his tools were in both those toolboxes.
Just think of all the stuff, like the ones that the guys have in the garage that it lifts up, the top lifts up, and then it has the drawers, and then it has, man, we could really stop that with our stuff.
Oh, definitely. Those would hold big rulers too. I think they would even, depending on the width of one of those tool cabinets, I guess you could put a pretty long ruler in one of those drawers too.
Well, you could put a magnetic hook on the side and hang them.
Let me see here. Zaza says those two. Yeah, read that one. Brandy says, no, Brenda, sorry. I got rid of my kitchen table and replaced it with an island and stools. Made it out of my brother's entertainment center and an old tabletop. Works great for cutting. Wow. That's ingenuity. And then Lisa says,
nice.
Lisa says, my husky tables are my favorite. Wood and metal. You can raise and lower. Made for workshops, so they are tough. Wow, you guys, listen to y'all.
See, we're more than just creative. We're innovative.
Yep, definitely.
Good ideas.
Hey, honey, thank you for sharing all your hacks, you guys. If you got more, keep bringing them.
Yep.
Where'd you run off to, honey? Did you have to go do something on the ship? They're in port right now. At least he got to go to the store today and go up to the center.
Yeah, I think that was a nice break for him.
Yeah. And I think he bought himself a Lego kit.
And where's he in port at? What country is he near?
He's still in Greenland. He's just off the
off the coast.
Yeah, he's off the coast. Yeah, in the sea. Legos are Denmark's products, not the United States.
Yeah.
So
when you go to Denmark,
we go to the Lego store.
To IKEA, he's going to go to the Lego store.
We go to the Lego store for sure. And the next trip we make to Denmark, we're going to go to IKEA too at some point. We're not going to go when we planned on going. That kind of fell apart.
Okay.
So no Denmark in January.
Not what you said that you wanted to get from IKEA.
I want the what's the name of that cabinet? Darn it. Alex. I want an Alex cabinet's what I want.
I'll have to look that up.
You've probably seen them in just about everyone's sewing room almost.
Maybe. I know. Yeah, some people have
wide and they're like this wide and they have drawers, and most people either turn the top of it into a ironing station or a cutting station, one of the two. Katy, have you been to the Lego Factory Museum? No. But that's I want to the next time we go to Denmark, make sure that we go to what Nicola said, the Alex cabinet. Yeah, that's the name of it.
Does Nikolai, can he buy the individual Legos like different? He doesn't have to buy a kit. He can buy what size he wants there, can he? Or does he have to?
Things are a little bit strange when it comes to Greenland and Denmark and Legos. If you want to, usually what he'll do now, if it's a part that breaks on a kit, he can write to them and they'll replace those. But if he wants to order extra parts, that's a different story. Because we're not part of the European Union, we have a hard time getting anything like that sent to us. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And the only reason Greenland's not part of the European Union is because Denmark, the European Union wanted to own all the rights, fishing rights to Greenland, and the Greenlanders are like, no, you're not doing that.
Yeah. No, that's their bread and butter.
It sure is. And for them to want to control, that was one of the reasons why, when UK was under the European Union, they controlled their fishing rights too. And I don't think other countries should be telling what other countries can do or not do with their fishing off their coast, you know? Denise is asking if I'm snowed in. Not right now. I went and had a chit chat with the tech people yesterday, and sometime next, I don't know if it'll happen before Christmas or after Christmas, but they're going to move all the snow up here that they piled up here. They did come in here yesterday and they moved all the snow off the side of our house over here where our front door is at. That snow is gone. They moved that yesterday. And I made sure that he didn't pile it up behind the house, because that would have made difficult trying to get to the boiler room. So he moved it completely out of there, and I don't know where he put it, but it's not back there behind our house.
Good.
Because it took showing him what happens. I brought him to where you could stand and face the road, and when he looked at the road, he's like, "Oh my God, you are right." I said, "This is what I'm talking about." And when the wind comes through there, it just moves the snow onto our house and makes it where I can't get out. And if I walk across it, I just fall in all the way up to my waist. And then trying to get out of it's
bad. You couldn't get out of that.
Nico says you bought 3 sets? What else did you get, honey? Yeah, tell us what Lego sets you bought. We're going to have a video for you guys when you see the haul we got from Lego from Denmark that we ordered through a secondary company that sells Legos. And I ordered what he wanted. Wait till you see all the cool things he's going to get.
That's really good.
Yep, we're going to have a nice video show you guys his haul.
What does he have a room that he can put his Lego things in, or does he just disassemble them and do something else?
Hey,
once he builds them?
Good to see you. Well, basically, before the sewing room got messed up by a storm, we were doing it in there together. And we have shelves in the bedroom right now where the creator sets are still intact in there, and also hanging from the ceiling is several Star Wars pieces. But a lot of times he'll assemble them and then disassemble them, and they go into totes.
Okay. Together. And then he can use pieces. Huh.
Well, he doesn't mix the pieces. He keeps if it's say a Ferris wheel, all those parts go into a tote by itself or in a bag that might be shared with one other item, and he never mixes them together. And the books go in with it, so none of that's turned into chaos. Hey, Mona. So he keeps his stuff really organized, and he doesn't throw any. He keeps his books, everything organized.
That's good.
Well, Legos, like I have some Legos in a storage unit in Florida that are 30. Let's see, Lynette's 37. She'll be 38 in February. And those Legos are as old as she is, but they're Duplos. So they don't make some of the what's in those Duplo kits that I have sitting in that storage unit. Yeah. And I have all the books to those Duplos. I want to give them to Lynette, but I don't know. Maybe I should just hang on to them and do something with them later. I don't know. Because the other grandkids are too big now for them.
Oh, yeah.
And it won't be long before Ava's going to be too big for them. Because she's 4 now. She's 4 years old because she was born. She's a pandemic born baby.
Oh.
Lynette had her at home on purpose. Because she wanted
total control. Was that her first child or her?
Yeah, that's her only child.
Oh, and to do it at home. Was anybody else with her?
She had a midwife. The reason she did that is because she didn't want to go through what I went through when I was in labor with her, because my asthma tried to end both of us. And so they had me on medication to control my asthma, and one of the medicines was causing me to keep going into labor. And so I had her, she was 7 weeks premature, I guess. 7 to 8 weeks, I think. And but the problem was I stayed in labor 32 hours.
Oh, yeah, that's not fun. Not at all.
Before it was over with, both of us had a fever and an infection, and it was just a hot mess.
They wouldn't let that happen today.
It was a hot mess.
They wouldn't let you go, to where you would have a problem.
Well, they wanted, at one point, he come in there and wanted to do a C-section, and I'm like, no. But I want to have the baby. What is come to find out what was causing me not to dilate properly? I was in active labor that whole time. 2 things was going on. One was she would not flip. Her head was in the right position, but she was flipped the wrong way. She was face up and she should have been face down.
Yeah, it's a hard delivery.
Yeah, and because of that, they had me up on all 4s trying to get her to flip, and she would not flip.
Yeah.
And the other thing was the medicine that they were giving me in the IV to control my asthma was what was slowing dilation. But then they were giving me oxytocin or whatever you call that to speed up labor. And there was a conflict between that medicine and my aminophylline, and that was what was causing all my problems. And yeah.
What child was she? What?
Number 1.
It's always that first one that is.
Yep, she was my first, and she was a tiny baby. I mean, she weighed 7 pounds 10 ounces. The other 2 were 8 pounds 4 ounces apiece. So she was pretty small, and she's a small woman. She's 5 foot. Honey, she's probably what, 5'2" or 5'3", you think? Because she's short like my mother was. My mother was 5'3", but her grandmother was 4'11".
So they're little.
The paternal grandmother, she was 4'11", but she was from Japan, so that's why she was a tiny woman.
The women can be tiny.
And I see a lot of the older generation here. Greenlandic women are tiny like that. How are you doing, Jess? And Lisa's leaving, I guess. Take care, Lisa. Thank you for coming.
Hi, Lisa.
Big hugs, and hi, Mona. If I didn't say hi. All right, let me get on the next part. I have got this far so far.
Oh, that's pretty.
I did what you suggested. I watched going right here along that. And I just got the needle just right above that point. So it may look like I chopped the point off, but I didn't.
Did it, so you filled it? Oh yeah. Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. So it should be okay.
Oh yeah.
Now, yeah. And I'll have to be careful again, like up here at the, this top one too, since that's
Yeah.
such, yeah.
Yeah.
Lisa, have a drink. It de-stressed me. Okay, let me see what the next step is now. Because I've sewn all of that and I made 4. Okay, so, all right. So this is all I have to do to this part. So I have to label this section 4A. So we're done with this for now. Okay, now I have to start building. I'll be making 2 of these right here. Okay, let me see if I can get myself reorganized here a little bit. This is F.
So Jess, what are you up to today? Probably a lot. You're wait. Oh, I forgot. We had these headdresses.
Oh,
I just touched my head.
yeah.
Yeah, my husband bought this one for me, and he says, "Here you go." I go, "I don't want to wear that by myself." And then Katie says, "I have one. I'll put mine on."
I think they're cute. I broke the other one. The other one was cuter. It looked like real horns. And I had wore it to go to town like a silly person and didn't think about when I got into the taxi I was going to hit the top of it, and then I hit the top of it and broke the horn off. Like,
Yeah,
like,
Jess, I
okay,
was just wondering how you were doing and
thank
working
you.
on Vlogmas. Okay.
I'm enjoying Jess's Vlogmas. Those blocks are beautiful. I have an extra one of these.
How she has time between teaching and
Yeah.
her children. And
Was Friday your last day for school until January, Jess? I have something to show you guys too. I just got to figure out how to show you. My friend Christine, who is a quilter, y'all have heard me mention her many times. She lives an hour away from Thomas and Blaze. So as you know, most of you know that he got a job, but now we have the child care issue because now school's out because of Christmas, winter
yeah,
break.
yeah.
So now we have this obstacle, and Christine has stepped up to the plate and she's going to help. So Sunday, no, wait. Yeah, Sunday she's going to pick him up and take him home with her. And then Christmas Eve, she'll bring him back. Or either she's going to have Thomas come over there. I'm not sure exactly what their plan is.
Be nice if Thomas did go over there and give him something to.
Yeah, it's
to
probably
be.
going to be him go over there more than likely. And then he'll spend Christmas Day together. And then when they go back to work, Christine will still have him. I'm going to show you a picture she sent to me today. And she says, shh, don't tell Blaze. So wait till you see this. Let me share my screen, but first I need to find the picture. I just downloaded it. You guys, my heart is so thankful because Thomas said that him and Blaze was invited to a Christmas party through the pathways on, I guess it was Wednesday or something. And Blaze came home with a bike.
Oh, that's what he
Brand
wanted.
new bike, that fits him. And it's truly amazing what people do for people who are really in need and struggling. Here, I'm gonna show you this picture. This is what's at Christine's house. You see that?
Oh, ooh, wow.
I guess all of that is for Blaze.
Oh my.
I
I think
know.
she had fun.
I think she did too. But that quilted tree is killer, man.
Yeah, I know. I like that.
It's beautiful. But yeah, that's what's waiting on him when he goes to her house.
He's going to be so excited
He is.
this Christmas.
I wish I could be there to see the look on his face when he sees it. Because I bet it's going to be priceless.
Do you think she could video it? Or
So I'm going to ask her if she'll video it, or at least take some pictures, or have Darius do the video while they're doing it. Yeah, because and that's her pit bulldog. She's a really older dog, and she's doing good despite her health issues right now. But isn't that killer, you guys? People are so kind, and they've been so kind and generous, and that's why
that's what it should be. It should be people helping people, and being aware of be aware of your surroundings. What's going on with your neighbor? What's going on with your friend?
Yeah, because a lot of people who become homeless, like my son did, it's because they were a paycheck away from homelessness to start with.
Yeah.
And then you lose your job because they have a shakeup in the job. And so a lot of times when the management changes, they just come in and clean house, don't even bother to keep who's working there. They just take everybody out.
Hard to
which is
live
sad.
paycheck to paycheck.
Yep. And when you live like that, you don't ask for any of this. You're not drinking or doing drugs. You just come under bad circumstances. The tree is beautiful, Jess. I agree with you. But these people in Georgia, oh my gosh, I've met Lisa, and because Lisa's the one that heads up Pathways, and I've met there's a worker that works at the school. Her name is Kelly, and she handles her department is what they call families in transition. And what that means, what that means is families who were homeless transitioning into a home, and it's her job to make sure that the transition goes smoothly for the kids, that the kids are coming to school. If a kid is in need, they do everything they can to help with that need, and because you want to keep the child in school.
I think he's lucky he is living where he is in the area, because sounds like they have good resources for him. I mean, he had to work hard for it. I mean, it took a while for him to be able to get the help that he needed, but when it came through, it came through.
Yep. It's if you don't understand what it's like for when this happens, because one of the obstacles that we ran into right before he had to before he could get into this apartment, listen to this, to get into the apartment they put him into, he has a car. Well, the car hadn't been switched over from California to Georgia yet, because that takes money.
Right.
A lot of money, because you have to pay taxes. Georgia has taxes on vehicles too, especially when you're transferring from one state to another. Every state has a different law. And so you have to do these laws. Well, if you don't have money to have your tags switched over to Georgia, plus pay the taxes on the car and have insurance on the car, and should you be driving around with expired tags that are not Georgia tags because you haven't had the money, they can impound your car. And if they impound your car, then how do you look for work? See my
right? And that was where
one big vicious circle.
Yep.
But people have stepped up and helped us with all of that in between. Yeah. All of us have gotten together and helped as much as we could.
Yeah.
Plus all the people here in the quilting community that donated to the GoFundMe, that helped a lot too.
There'll come a time that in his life that he will be able to help somebody.
Yep. And we talked about that the other day. I said, one day you're going to be in a good position where you can help someone in need. And You know,
Right.
you need to remember that you should be open-minded for that.
Right.
I know, Mom.
Mhm.
He's very thankful right now.
Sure.
Sometimes the hardest thing is asking for help. Yes, definitely. Denise says thank you to Christine. Yep, I'll tell her. We haven't resolved the legal part where, like if we wanted to bring Thomas over here for vacation with Blaze, we still don't have that situation straightened out. And from what I understand, Lisa still hasn't found a lawyer that can take that part of the legal situation pro bono. So we still have that hanging.
Do they have legal aid anymore? Where you can get legal aid?
They have legal aid, but for his situation, it requires a type of attorney that handles family law, and because we don't know where his mother is, where we can get her to sign off on stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, I thought in some states that after so long, with no contact.
Yeah, there's like an abandonment thing you can file.
Yeah.
Still got to have a lawyer to file that abandonment.
That's true. Let's see
But right now I'm not focusing on that right now. I just want to focus on making sure everything stays good and he gets on his feet real good. And then we'll worry about the other stuff.
Yep. Let me see. I guess Mona says good night.
Yeah, she's leaving. Thank you for coming, Mona. And I told him, I said, you're gonna have to file taxes this year because you got a job before the end of the year.
That's true.
So I'm gonna
but you know what? He might get a decent refund that with being a head of household. So
yeah,
whatever he pays, he'll probably get back.
Yep. Plus he'll get the child tax credit.
Right.
So that child tax credit can put that money aside for emergency things like if he needs tires on his car or something goes wrong with the car, he'll have that little nest egg to take care of things like that. Because what I used to do when I was raising my kids, we always got a refund check, and that refund check put tires on both vehicles, paid insurance on both vehicles for a year, paid for the taxes on our house. I took all of that. That's what I used that refund check for, and that's what we did every year with it.
That's good that you had it then, because that would have been a really hard situation to try to pay for that stuff.
Yeah, it's expensive. And now it's even worse,
Yeah.
His insurance for him, he's never had a speeding ticket, and he's never been in a wreck, never had a speeding ticket. He has a clean record. That's pretty rare for a man. And his insurance is still almost $800 for 6 months. And I don't understand why that is.
How is he? Under 30 or
he's
under
35.
25?
He's 35.
Oh,
someone told me because he's under the age of 40.
Well, they used to be under age of 25. It was more,
Yeah.
They just keep on changing it.
So I guess they changed it because maybe 30-something guys still get into wrecks. I don't know.
My old triangles out. I did quite a few pieces. I think I have to have 140 some triangles of some kind. But that's okay. This is something that I can do, and you don't have to think, and you can just pull it out and. Okay, people, what's happening?
So we're 2 hours and 21 minutes in. Let's see. We need to come
They're
up with
getting tired.
No, I'm fine. Are you? You okay?
Yeah, I said, are they getting tired?
I don't know. We need to come up with another question. Because that was a good one, the last one, with all the hats.
Yeah.
Let me see. What can we come up with next that we can ask about?
Maybe one of them have something that they could suggest.
Any of you got something you would like to suggest as a topic of discussion? If you do, put it in the chat so we can have the discussion until I come up with something anyway. Okay, you're putting me on the spot. What should we talk about next? I really enjoyed the thing about the hats, though. That was great.
Yeah, that was fun because we really got some good ideas in it.
Yes, we did. Stuff I wouldn't have thought of.
Nope. Me neither.
Now we need to make sure that I put these half square triangles in the right direction.
Let's see.
Okay, so I'll put these aside. Now we need D, which is the pink.
Denise says it might be his zip code that's defining the areas based on the amount of claims made in that area. Yeah, she's right.
Could be, yeah. It might make that area prone to people suing each other.
Yeah.
What can we talk about? So we talked about Christmas movies. We talked about hacks. And we talked about the poll, which reminds me, let me see if there's any changes in the poll. Hey, Jess, if you haven't done the poll, can you put in for that? 37 votes. And look at there, it's still 62% would rather learn on their own versus going to a class. So it's 38% classes and 62% learning skills on your own.
I think what it is that we've got seasoned quilters here.
Yeah.
And once you've took it, they took their classes, you know, and they have the knowledge. And I think that like with me, the only way I take a class is if it is something new or the project interested me, you know.
I want to take a binding class.
I got a binding video. It's on YouTube.
I know how to do the binding. My problem is, you know, when you get up where the mitered corner is.
Yeah.
I've never. I know that my miter doesn't quite look totally mitered. So it would be great if I could see someone do the mitered corner, you know, when you're folding it over to sew it to the front. I would like to see that part of it because mine never, sometimes they come like they're supposed to, and other times they kind of be overlap of each other. It still looks mitered, but apparently you're not supposed to make it overlap like that.
If you want, you can look. It's one of my early videos, and I do show that a close-up of how you go off at 1/4 of an inch at a diagonal. Then when you're done, you pull it up and you get the 45-degree angle. Then you bring that fabric down. Sometimes I pin it just so it don't move on me when I'm going to sew it, you know, because you got that little bit thicker fabric from the folds, you know, because maybe it moves a little bit.
Yeah, I think that when I get down there, when I'm sewing, you know, on the front, when I get down to that corner, I think that I'm not putting the needle in the right place, maybe.
Have you thought about getting maybe do the ruler and mark the side and put a line where your 1/4 inch should be, and then the other way, so you actually have a little box. Take a
Maybe
pencil.
I should try doing that. Yeah, maybe I should try doing that.
Yeah, and sometimes I still do that because you can't always see your fabric underneath.
No.
And then you can then I kind of pull my binding a little bit to the side and see where that line is, so I can put a little line on the top of the binding. So then I know that when I get to that point to have my needle down to make that sew off, I got something to say. I still do that a lot.
Yeah.
And then I have my corners that sometimes it doesn't, it's like, okay, I either made my binding too small or, not wide enough. Now I like to use 2¼ inch binding. I used to do 2½, but I do 2¼ now.
Is a 2¼ better?
It's smaller. You don't have as much that's coming over, like if your machine
Coming over the front like I do on the hat. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have as much. Just again, making sure that you have a decent 1/4 inch, and I just started doing that, and I liked it better. I liked the look of it better. And what do you guys think? Okay, Katy, your sewing machine foot might have a mark 1/4 inch in from the front. Mine has, so I know when to stop it. Alexander Zaza said it. Yes, that's true. There is a lot of them have little marks.
Let me have a look.
And if you want to know for sure, you can take your ruler, a little ruler, and put it up against your foot and see which, some of them have more than one mark.
Yeah.
And see which mark would do that. And then if you needed to, you could take a Sharpie.
He's right.
You're all right,
There's a
Zaza.
1/4 inch. There's a mark on here for a 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch and a 3/4 inch.
And that lets you know when you got to the end of that fabric that your needle, you can go off to the right to sew off for your.
That is cool. Thank you for saying that. I didn't know that.
I forgot about it.
Look at here. Learn something else.
See, tonight is the night of learning.
Aha moment.
Ta-da!
Yeah.
We'll see if that makes it. That should make a difference, and that's what I should. Now I should have done that. And I didn't
think of it.
I know about it, but I'm not thinking about it when I'm doing it.
Nikolai says, "Why don't we talk movies or music?"
Okay, we did some.
We did Christmas.
We kind of. Well, Soul Sister's gonna go to Katy.
I still have that song on my brain, and the only way I'm gonna get rid of it is listen to it. Zaza says it was a revelation to her too. Hey, okay. What is your favorite genre of music? Only give us one, and then wait before you answer. When you tell us what genre of music you like, tell us why. That way we have a conversation and learn something else new about everybody. I know it's not a quilty thing, but still, we listen to music and audibles and everything else and watch TV while we're sewing. So I think that's a great question. My favorite music is rock and roll.
You like 50s, 60s, 70s? Which one? All
80s. Actually,
80s?
if I had to tell you what favorite years I loved the most, I would say the latter part of the 70s all of the 80s and maybe the first half of the 90s, and then rock music started changing.
Care for the hard rock. I just wasn't a hard rock.
I didn't used to be a hard. Y'all are gonna laugh. You remember when Guns N' Roses first came out?
Yeah,
I couldn't stand Guns N' Roses, but now at my age, that's all I want to listen to is Guns N' Roses.
that's
Go
funny.
figure. It is funny. Along with, I didn't much care for Led Zeppelin, and now I like some of the Led Zeppelin stuff.
Yeah.
I wasn't an AC/DC fan, and now I am. I don't know why. I kind of think
yeah, I think our tastes change.
I also think I kind of know why. Hard rock is a bit more aggressive, and sometimes they're I call it screaming when I know it's not screaming, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's very in your face music. And I think because of coming
I call it headache music.
I think the reason I didn't like it when I was younger is because I came out of a household of chaos. And maybe that was why I couldn't associate with that kind of music.
That's true.
Now I'm in a happy place, and I actually and some of Guns N' Roses, especially when what's his name, the guitar player, dang it, his name's on Slash. I could listen to Slash play his guitar all doggone day and be perfectly content.
Wow. My husband's a musician. He's a drummer and a guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
He's done it his whole life. He used to play for, well, his band when he was a teenager. They did a lot of backup music for groups that would come in that was known.
Oh,
they did the Beach Boys. They played and all that. So, yeah, he's pretty old. No, but because he's so many people, he'd shoot me for that.
Zaza says there's very little music she doesn't like. I'm not a fan of prog rock like Rush. My husband loved Rush. I like some of Rush's stuff, not all of it though.
I was raised on. I mean,
she mentioned Beach Boys, and I'm thinking, da da.
Yeah. I was raised on. My dad was a musician, and they had a country band, so it was country music was what they liked, or what I grew up on.
Yeah, my parents listened to country music and Elvis Presley, and I didn't get the fascination about Elvis Presley. I'm like, I don't know what the fascination is because I don't get it. But they call rock music saint music.
Yeah.
So what
That's
they
my grandpa.
My first record was Elton John's Crocodile Rock, and I bought it on 45. And then I realized I could sneak those 45s in the house unbeknownst to both my parents. So I have like 100 of those where I hid them in my room. And whenever they were gone, we would break out their record player and play rock music while they were gone.
See, we could do things. We did things. See, we suck too.
I never understood why they called it Satan's music when most rocks love and
because my grandpa was an old time preacher, felt that it was just lead you to other things.
But country music's all the time back then. Country music when I was growing up was talking about so and so cheated on so and so and talking about.
I know.
I'm thinking, why do I want to listen to music about someone separating from so and so because someone cheated on them?
I know. Or or about the trucks and beer halls and.
Do you remember? This will be a funny one. How many of you? Well, hello, Betty Lou. Goodbye, heart. Oh, is that a song? Let me see here.
It is. Goodbye, Betty Lou. Or wait, hello, Betty Lou. Goodbye, heart. Let me see. Oh, Everly Brothers sang that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nikolai says we have similar taste in music, Essa. Yeah, we do. It's interesting now. He does have some music that I just don't like much. But for the most part, we mostly listen to so much. Our taste is so close, it's crazy.
Pat likes says mine is the late 50s rock. I like 50s, 60s music a lot.
Nothing but a hound dog 'em. Just
Yep.
crying all the time. She just mentioned now. Oh my God, now that song will never go away in my head.
And her husband was a trombonist
Oh
with
wow.
several community bands. Cool.
Hey Herman, welcome back. I was gonna say something too. What was it? Dang it. Oh, do you remember probably in the early 70s the song They Call Him the Streak?
Yeah, they call him the streak. That was
And it was because someone in Florida got arrested for crossing a highway in his birthday suit.
trying to remember who
I don't remember who the singer was.
I know him. I can see him in my head.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was the
And then
thing.
there was this other one called I Don't Like Spiders and Snakes, but that ain't what it takes for me to love you song.
Is there anybody that'll admit that they had streaked in the
Say that. Oh yeah, I'm not.
the
I never.
baby?
Not me.
As a baby, I did.
Well, yeah, that's different. Let's see. Herman says, I'm a youngin'. I'm 38. Laugh out loud. Yeah, you are. You're the age of my kids. And then Pat says, I think it was Rupert Holmes who sang The Streaker. Really?
He might have sang it, but
he must have been.
Oh. It just went out of my head.
Welcome back.
I think she might have been right.
Someone's gonna have to Google it and see who sang that song. They Call Him the Streak. Uh-oh. I think I sewed this upside down. I did. Oh my gosh.
Who sang it?
Jim Stafford, Frank says. How did you know that, Frank? Or did you go look it up?
Because he went streaking.
It could be.
Yeah,
were you one of those streakers?
You just play my song. I play my song, people.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing the song Bye Bye Miss American Pie. I liked that song for some reason. Bye, bye.
Didn't do nothing. But it just depends. I think I didn't care for the folky song part of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
This one's got to be bigger.
I was so young when that type of music was out, so I never really got I guess I never really got a chance to enjoy a lot of different styles because they just had so much country music in our house.
Zaza says it's time to get the Frogger out. Rev it.
Oh, there's one about frogs too. Oh, Jeremiah was a bullfrog song.
Yeah, that was who sang that? Who sang Jeremiah?
I don't know, but it was a funny song as a kid. I liked singing it.
Three Dog Night. Yeah.
Oh, hey, there we
go.
Who? Which one?
Three.
They call him the streak.
Yeah. Jeremiah was the bullfrog, right?
Yeah. Music. Nikolai, although you didn't like much of my European music, Nikolai
I've
says
never
you
heard of
didn't.
some of that European music. But he had never listened to like a band called Journey, which most of us know because they're a band. He knew of them, but he had never heard their music. So when I come along and moved over here and started playing Journey, he's like, I like that music too.
Like Journey. I thought they were pretty good.
Journey was really good. They're still good.
Yeah.
That young kid they got singing in place of Steve Perry, he's not doing too bad of a job.
Anybody know who the oldest entertainer is that's still entertaining?
Me.
Entertainer.
My husband says him. No. Who it's let me see, it's Mick Jagger,
The
older
Rolling
than
Stones, maybe, or it could be
Elton John. Is
Elton
or
John. Yeah.
the Beatles. Which
Paul
one do you? Yeah.
Nikolai says, try Iron Maiden. It's the status quo. Oh, wait. Try Iron Maiden and status quo. Okay, gotcha.
Maiden. He liked more of the hard rock.
Yeah, he does. He likes Iron Maiden. What's that other one you like? Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah.
Oh
He's
yeah.
an Ozzy Osbourne fan too.
Yeah.
What do you want? I took you outside. Really? Now you got to go again? I'll be right back again. What? I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. You're, Luane, the streaker was Ray Stevens. I was trying to think who it was. Let me see. Elton John is dreadful. His voice is shot and he just looks sad. Well, I hear that he's not very healthy at all, that he's on his last leg, can hardly walk or anything. Yeah, Luane, thanks for joining us. How you been today? You missed some lively conversation here, Luane. I'm sure there'll still be more. Oh, I'm just coming up short, just a little bit. Maybe I can get this. I think I can. I can fudge it. See, that is a word, a quilting word is of the day is fudge it. You may regret it, but you can fudge it. I just got to make sure that I'm cutting these to where one goes horizontal and the others go vertical. I was watching this on my mom's TV and you were getting it wrong, so I had to come on and set you straight. Well, thank you. As soon as you said that, then that made sense.
Okay, we're back.
Luane says that it was no, it's just gone on my head.
Hey, Luane. Good to see you.
He told me Ray Stevens. Ray Stevens did the streak.
Oh, okay, that does make sense.
He came out with some.
You see that?
Yeah. He was funny, Ray Stevens.
Yeah.
He came up with some
That
funny
song,
songs.
that song was talked about, especially because they had arrested that dude that was, I don't remember which highway it was, but he's walking across a highway butt naked, you know.
There was a lot of people during that time that was trying to streak or talked about it, you know.
Yeah. Gave a new meaning to jaywalking, huh?
Yep. Now, I don't know what I'm cutting these little triangles off. What am I going to do with those?
Save them for another day, or put
Yeah.
them in a
Another scrap, huh?
yeah, put them in a scrap bucket, or give them to someone who might want to sew them.
That's true.
All right, now let me see if I can get the angle of this triangle in the right darn direction this time. I knew I was going to do that. I'll always do it every time. Actually, I think I have both of them in.
So Pam from Handmade, Pam Handmade. Hi Pam, how you doing?
I actually both of them in the wrong direction. Oops. Okay.
Don't look too late.
I love Elton John. I don't think he's dreadful at all.
Well, she says though that he's sick. He looks dreadful because he's so ill right now.
He said he was doing. I saw him on a. He had an interview with. Someone interviewed him. Who was it? Because I watched a recent one and he looked better, and he also said that his health was better.
Okay. Zaza says that streaking used to be really common, and she's right, in sports events when they were being televised. People, I did see it before.
Yeah, do it across the TV screen. You can't unsee it, you know?
You can't.
They
didn't have the editing abilities like the how many seconds or something, you know?
Yeah.
And you could edit something out.
I watched a Styx concert the other day. That I don't remember where they were at, but it was a recent event, and Tommy Shaw is quite diminished now.
Really?
Yeah, and I am a total Styx fan, so I have every record vinyl record in the original cover that they ever made.
Wow.
So the original covers are worth a lot more than the replacement ones. Girl, you are going to get in trouble. You do not get to use my quilting gloves to chew on. Your daddy brought them home for me. See, he brought home some work gloves, and they're great for quilting.
Yeah, the gardening.
They have texture on the outside of the hand.
Yeah.
And they're by Milwaukee. And I'm sure you've heard of Milwaukee makes like skill saws and drills and stuff.
Yeah, they're good. They're a good company.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't see that, Lorraine. One even streaked at the Oscars while David Nevin was speaking.
Did you see Pam's comment? Isn't that why we have a 5-second delay?
Yeah. That's probably very much so true.
Ahab the Arab. I don't know if I've heard that song. I'll have to check it out and see if I've ever heard it. One even streaked the Oscars while David Niven was speaking. Wow. I don't know who David Niven is, though.
He's not a sports cat. I don't know, some sort of a public
Did you guys know that Bette Midler sang here in Greenland?
No, I love Bette Midler.
She came here.
She has a voice.
Yeah,
did you get to see her?
No, this was before me and Nikolai's time getting together. But people have asked me about it. Did you know that Bette Midler, and even Nikolai's told me about it?
Hey, how'd you see him?
Did you see Bette Midler sing when she was here, or were you out to sea? I think she sang in Nuuk. I wish they would bring bands to Greenland, but yeah, you know. I would love to see Bon Jovi in concert.
Yeah, they were good.
You know, he was born in the same month and year that I was.
Really?
Yep, he's born. I think he's a March 2nd baby of 62, and I'm a 26th baby of 62.
Okay, we're gonna have a. Okay, I'm gonna have a giveaway. These.
Are you having trouble with it?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying that I have. These are all the cutoffs. And now there's a bunch more. I got a lot of cutoffs.
Where's your ball? Where's your ball? Find your ball. Find your ball. Because I've fed you, I've let you outside. What more do you want? Where's your ball? She's probably pushed that ball where I can't see where she put it.
Maybe under your table.
Yeah, probably up there where she can't get at it. Where's your ball? It's right here. You blind, girlfriend? Here, play with your ball. She's like, Mom, you've been in here a long time.
Let's see. The Pink Panther. Did you see the Pink Panther or what is it? Around in the world in 88 days? Lorraine wanted to know.
It's supposed to be 80 days?
Yeah. Follow the Pink Panther much.
Yeah, I didn't either.
80 days. That's what he meant.
Yeah. I was too busy at that young age watching creature feature movies and Godzilla movies. And Spectrum-Man and
Spectrum-Man. I don't know.
Spectrum-Man. Us girls were kind of like little tomboys, I guess, because my mom would buy us Barbie dolls. Guess where the Barbie dolls went? In the bottom of the toy box. Because we didn't care to play with them. Now let's see if I can get this done in the right direction this time. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to turn it in the wrong direction. Zaza said Pink Panther was hilarious.
Who was the guy that played that Pink Panther?
I don't know.
Okay, Lorraine, we're counting on you. You got the last one right. Who played the Pink Panther?
Hey, Kevin, look who's in here. The owner of Tuber Chat is in here right now. He's the reason why my channel's growing a little bit.
Hi. Glad to have you.
Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you. And also, Big Family Expedition is from the same channel. Welcome, welcome.
They must have been hearing us laugh.
Maybe. Oh, you know, we're having a good time tonight, that's for sure.
So that's why my husband said, he says, you guys are having fun. He says,
we're having weird conversations.
I know.
Oh, yeah. It's funny what you think of when you are things you remember that had to do with music or whatever that bring
Oh,
something
yeah.
to mind, because some of those songs were written because of something that happened, you know.
Yeah.
But I remember that that guy that was doing the streaking that caused that song to be written, he was in the news a lot for a while. I'm like, wow, they really want to talk about this.
I'll take this out.
Wayne says, I don't recall the name of the doll, but my sisters had one that was like 2 feet tall and her hair could be put it out or pulled out.
Pulled out.
Pulled
It
out.
wasn't a little Peggy or a little Debbie doll.
Yeah.
Or I know that my sister had one.
He says, I love pulling it out and swing.
How many of you guys cut your doll's hair?
Zaza says Peter Sellers was the Pink Panther.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Zaza's pretty good on this.
Hey, you could win trivia, Zaza.
Yeah, she sure could.
Her and Lil Wayne.
We should have a trivia night, though, if I could come up with some good questions.
Well, we have come up with a few tonight.
We definitely have tonight. Yes, we have.
Music or
Oh, okay. So let me think. What is, since we're talking about music, let's talk about movies. Out of all the movies you've seen your entire life, what movie stands out the most that you loved the most? And tell us why.
Ghost.
You liked Ghost? Okay.
Because it was a love story.
It definitely was different for a Patrick Swayze movie, wasn't it?
I know. I liked it the most because Patrick Swayze was in it. He was, of course, what was the other one he was in? He's a good dancer.
Yeah, he could dance. He still could. There's a YouTube video of him dancing with his wife.
Yeah, she's good.
Goodness.
Yeah.
He makes it look so, both of them makes it look so easy.
Now I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. So what's happened here is I've had to take these apart because I put the angle of the half square triangle in the wrong direction. Now I think I'm getting them going in the right direction, and I'll show them to you in a minute. Let me see here. Nikolai says it's, Bonnie Tyler. Oh, sorry. It's Bonnie Tyler that was here, not Bette Midler. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me on that, honey. Mary Poppins as what? Wait. Zaza says, I won Donna's trivia against Sobecca. Wow. And then she says, as a kid, Bambi, then E.T., I loved Dirty Dancing. And then LaWayne says, Mary Poppins as well is so dang fun. And Frank says, I watched Zaza. Pat says, Gone with the Wind. I saw this 4 times in the movies when it first came out, and I don't know how many times since.
Is the one that's red?
Yeah, Dirty Dancing. I like that. Jesus. Gone with the Wind was a good one.
Big Family Expeditions is asking what I'm working on. All right, hold on, I'll show you. So I'm in, excuse me, sorry. This is what we call a puzzle mystery quilt along, and this was for Tree of Life, and I'm working on what is called Hope, and this is the colorway, and this is to honor breast cancer survivors. And I am working on clue 4. And these are the clues I'll be making. And there is 10 months of clues that we do, and then we make a big quilt out of it. So right now I'm on clue 4. And this particular quilt along is finished as far as the Kate and yeah, how do I explain this? I'm behind, put it that way. So I'm trying to catch up and get my Tree of Life stuff done. There's also one currently going called the Wild West, and I'm doing Delilah for the Wild West. And then we just signed up for the new spring one, which starts next year. That's called Fly Away, and I will be doing Phoenix. So if you and it's through Cotton Cuts. If you go to cottoncuts.com, you'll see that it's a small quilting online company, and she has subscriptions of different kinds. And this particular one is for the puzzle mystery. That's a subscription. That's what I'm working on clue 4, and I'll show it to you in a minute when I get it all together. What are you, and let me, are you far enough along you can show
I don't have, I can show the pic. Yeah, I'm cutting out the triangles now.
Hang on, let me spotlight you so they can see what you're working on. And this is what Sherry's working on, Big Family Expedition.
Scrappy stars.
So she's working on a different project than I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm cutting out my triangles that will make the star. And then the background is the white fabric or light colored. So I spent most of the time making strip sets that looks like this. And now I'm cutting them out.
Did you pre-plan the fabric colors, or did you just randomly pick stuff?
I randomly picked, but I kind of wanted it not to be. Yeah, I just picked what I liked, what looked appealing to me.
Okay, because it looks like it's going to be a nice, scrappy, colorful quilt.
Yeah, I hope it's not. I don't think it's going to be bold, but
Big Family says can't wait to see the finished project. Sorry, that will be so pretty. And then Luane says, I hear Fly Away is based on the wildlife birds of Australia. I don't know if it has to do with Australia, but I do know it has to do with migration. Rita says, hey, Katy and everyone, I'm late. No one is ever late. You come when you can get here, and we're fine with that. All right. I'm going to press these real quick. Be right back.
Thanks, Elsa. I think it'll be pretty when it's done. You heard where you can get the pattern, right? That it's Aunt M's. I'm looking at the chat. I should be looking at you. It's at Aunt M's EM''S .com. You can go on. She does a lot of patterns that are. Most of her patterns are all scraps. You do from scraps, so you can get the pattern from that, or you can go on Etsy. She's on Etsy too, and get the pattern. But it's not a hard one at all. You just strip piece, then you have what is this? 60 degree. Your 60-degree ruler. You use that, and then there's no Y seams or anything when you're doing it, putting it together. And then I hope it turns out as I liked it. It just kind of, it was eye candy to me.
It's going to be gorgeous when you finish it.
I hope. I'll have to think what I want to. Then what I have to do is I think I'll do like a custom design in the light part. And then do just something in the stars, but I think I'll do something because I have so much open space when I quilt it, so that's what I'm
Rita has a
thinking.
good question. She wants to know, isn't it harder to sew triangles together than just using half square triangles?
I almost would think it could be because you're going by what you mean she means pre-cut.
Are you talking about pre-cut triangles? Or are you talking about what Sherry's working on that has to do with that 60-degree triangle? Luane says, have to go. Sister's yelling, dinner is ready. Y'all have fun. Enjoy your meal,
Bye.
Luane. And thank you for coming.
I don't know if this is what you're thinking of, but you put it on here, the ruler, then the ruler gets, you have it going this way on your fabric, then it gets flipped the other way to cut it, then you flip it back to cut the next piece. So it's like, that way you get the most out of your fabrics. See, like how this is at an angle. And as far as these triangles go, let's see if I can, hold on.
Do you
I
want
know
me
I don't
to
have it right,
spotlight
but
you? I can spotlight you if you want me to.
you can wait a second because oh, this is a mess. My design board.
While you're doing that, I'm going to answer Candace. Yes, I am getting excited about it, especially if I can get everybody there. And you guys should see all the quilts that are being posted on the Greenland Quilter Facebook group that I'll be sharing on the New Year's Eve live. It's going to be exciting for our trunk show. Crystal said, Rita says, it isn't making the triangle itself, it is sewing them together. That's what she's talking about.
With this one, it doesn't matter because it's scrappy. So the strips I'm making can be different widths. So I don't have to, well, I'll, you still have to match the seam, but yeah, it's scrappy. So it's not like it's got to be perfect. Let's see if I can get this. I'm looking at the pictures to do this.
Let me know when you want me to spotlight you and I'll do it.
Okay. Let's see, did I get a new one?
Great.
This fabric is so pretty.
Hey,
Zaza says, Rita, it's easier with a ruler that cuts the rib of the triangle 1/4 inches off as they don't need to stick over. Uh-oh.
I see.
So this is supposed to be in the, nope, the pink is supposed to be in the middle. No, that can't be right. Oh. Here we go.
I'll show you. Well, let me see part of this.
Okay, I'm going to spotlight you.
Okay, the bottom part of this star will be not on because I ran out of design board.
Uh-oh. Could be
Let
a
me
good
see if
size
I can
block
get
then,
this to stick. Now I will probably be more picky of how I put this together with the colors and things like that. But see, it's supposed to have another triangle down here.
Yeah.
But that's, and so what it'll do is I'll have triangles here that's white and I'll do it in rows. So when I sew it, I'll sew this triangle to that. And then, so this will be a row, this will be a row. And then you just match the seams from your rows. So it's really, I don't know if I like that blue in there though. I'm thinking.
You could always rotate it to a different spot.
Yeah, it's like they're somehow something's like this
Yeah.
right here. I don't care for.
Candace says, I hate that I will miss your New Year's live. I'll be at a quilt retreat, but we'll try to pop in and say hi. Yeah, just come in and say hi at least. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm okay regardless of whether you show up, but you know what I mean. I would love to see you before the New Year's leaves. My headache is coming back.
It's been almost 3 hours, so or has so you're probably getting eye strain.
I woke up with this headache. It's very weird. That's why I went and laid back down again because it was hurting. But I also feel neck pain in the back of my neck.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I slept wrong.
Oh, you can unspotlight me.
Okay.
Undo me.
Zaza says, so it's like 6 diamonds.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This you can see, but I kind of changed my colors around a little bit. Yeah, you just put the diamond. Let me show you the diagram, which this is how they show you put it together.
That diagram's very good.
She had, this is such a simple pattern. It's 3 pages and not hardly anything on the pages. I mean, that's how easy this pattern is.
It
The only
looks
thing is, well, you can use a 60-degree on from your other rulers if you don't have a triangle ruler. You know, because there's always that mark on there. Well, I guess I might use those half ones. There's a half there.
okay. I'm trying to see. It also says, Rita, mark your seam allowance and overlap them by that. And if you mark a 1/4 inch, but your seam allowance isn't a 1/4 inch, they will be off. Frank says, that's cool. I like it. We're getting closer to getting these clues together, or this second set of clue anyway. We might get this done before it's time to log off of here. And then I can start on the next one.
I'm behind on mine, on the
Yeah, I still need to
Wild
get,
West.
I'm behind on a lot of things. I still haven't started that Tula Pink one yet, which is for my granddaughter. But You know, the other day in the live we were talking, someone asked me if I do I plan my year out for my channel? And I was truthful and I said, no, I didn't plan anything the whole time, except when we did that first month of January. I did plan on doing I designed something in my head, and we made this floating Tetris quilt. I'll show it to, for those who haven't seen this, I'll go ahead and show it again. It was the only thing I did plan on doing that we actually finished together. I think there was 2 or 3 people that did the floating Tetris. But this is my quilt design, or quilt pattern design.
You designed the pattern?
I designed this one in my
Very
head.
nice. Very good. Oh, I like that. That's nice.
And this only took 142 pack of charm packs. And then I think it was a yard and a half of the white background, a quarter of a yard of this big border here. No, it took 3/4 of a yard, I think, for this border here, and a quarter of a yard for this dark blue. And then the squares I had left over from making that, I did this on the back.
Did you make that pattern available where you can buy it, or?
No, but I can write it out and you can have it. It's very easy.
Yeah, it'd be nice. You could share.
I have some information on my community page, but I never got around to finish writing it out. But here's my quilt label.
That's good. That's pretty. I like your back, your backing, how you did that.
Yeah, it was fun making it. And I just knocked all my clues on the floor for what I'm working on.
So now you have no clue.
No, they're just on the floor in a hot mess. Good thing Nora didn't get up to go see what fell on the floor. Well, some of it managed to stay on the design board. I feel like I'm going to have a missing triangle. Possibly. Maybe. We'll see. Thank you, Candace. So I've been thinking a lot about this thing about me not pre-planning. When I started this channel, I guess I didn't consider that maybe I should have a plan of when I was going to do what. So I've been winging it the whole time, which, it's okay. I still feel like I accomplished a lot this year. I mean, I finished this quilt that I just showed you. I made a wall hanging that's going to a swap partner. I have finished 6 quilt tops over the year. For some reason, I think I finished another quilt besides this one. Yeah, I did, because I turned around and gave it to someone.
The one, and you made the pattern. Did you mention that the block one that you did the pattern? Tester, you were a pattern tester for?
Yeah, that's that one. Yeah, this one that she's talking about. Andrea is donating her pattern that I tested as one of the giveaway gifts for the New Year's Eve giveaway. And this is the modern tumbling blocks that I sewed this year. It's really big, so that's why I'm not trying to put the whole thing up in the air, because I need to stand on something to show the whole thing. So this was the other thing, and this This pattern was created by Andrea of Mama J Enterprises,
Yeah.
and she told me the other day that she's going to donate she's going to give away this pattern to one lucky winner. And this one was done all in batiks. I need to get a border on it because look, there's a hot mess happening on the outer edge.
Can you do a stay stitch?
I probably could do that. I just haven't made a decision on what color I want the border to be.
That way it won't come apart on you.
Yeah, I don't like when I see that happening.
Yeah, I had one I had to do that with.
I wish you guys could see the way this dog, hang on a minute. Let me see if I can or not. If this other light camera disappears, you know why, because I messed with it. I want you to check this out. Can you see my foot pedal?
Sweet.
So she's here and my foot pedal is behind her.
Aww.
This is how she gets under my desk all the time. She puts herself between me and the foot pedal. You're not in trouble. It's okay. Mom's just showing them what you do.
Laura says to do a victory lap around your quilt.
Thank you. So I thought I would have a short little discussion about, I've been in thought about what I could do better, because I don't believe in New Year's resolutions, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. I don't do New Year's resolutions because I have never, ever followed through on one thing. I feel like that because I don't do that, I'm setting myself up for failure. And failure can make you feel bad about yourself. It really can. And when you hear, I'm trying to kind of skirt around this subject because I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. But I come from a world where when I was growing up, I was told, you're going to always fail. That, basically that was the answer to everything. You're always going to be a failure. So when I became an adult, and the first time I tried to make my own little New Year's resolution, I wasn't setting up a higher standard than what I was capable of doing, but I discovered that I couldn't follow through on them. Now, do I know why I can't follow through on them? I don't know. I get distracted. I get sidetracked. My husband will tell you that I have more than, and I'll be the first one to admit, I don't have just one project going on in this sewing room. I've got 4 or 5 of them going on. Because I get distracted easy. I'm not sure exactly how to explain why I do that. And it was the same thing when I lived in Florida and I was gardening. I always had multiple gardening projects going on. I always finished them, but I didn't ever get in this huge hurry to finish any one thing. And I don't know, I can't answer why I'm built that way. I'm pretty sure that I have this thing where I tell people that I'm a product of my environment, and that might be why I'm this way. And so I got to, so back to what we're talking about here, because I didn't want to get too far sidetracked. I don't want to make a resolution or saying that I'm going to do better by planning better, but what I do think I can do is maybe set up a tiny goal. Like, let's take a planner and start out by planning, say, the first quarter of 2025. And it doesn't necessarily have to be full of stuff, but like right in there, work on my tulip pink for my granddaughter, determine how many days a week, or how many, how maybe do a block a week or 2 blocks a week, and at the end of the first quarter reevaluate, and any of the I'm going to be doing a project with Sean, which I haven't told you yet. You only heard hints of it, so next month you'll hear about the project that me and Sean will be doing together. I've gotten better about keeping a record of all of my setting up for lives and for pre-records. I'm keeping a planner where I keep all that information in there. I've gotten a lot better with that part of it, but I feel like that I should do like an inventory of all of my UFOs, and also include in my UFOs projects that I really want to get done this next year, and figure out how I can accomplish some of it without overextending myself and end up saying, no, I'm not doing it at all. Does that make sense? What do you guys think?
I don't think you're any different than any of us, because we'll have multiple projects going, or we'll start something and maybe lose interest in it. Doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that you're ready. You're not ready to finish that at this point and go on. Something else strikes your interest. I think it is good to write things down, not like a to-do list as much as, okay, like you said, I want to do this and I want to do that. And as it comes in your mind, write it down, jot it down. And then once a month, go back and say, like once a week, say, what do I want to do? Do I want to do anything this week that's different than I normally do? I'm going to give myself 1 hour to do anything I want, or one day, whatever you can afford to do what you want. And you can go into your list and say, oh, I'd like to do that. Now, maybe you don't get done with it, but you got started on it.
Yeah.
That
sounds like a good way of handling it. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's interesting is you go back and you look at that and you think, oh, I forgot I wanted to do that,
I don't feel like I failed at anything this year.
No.
I can tell you that I've had a couple, maybe 3 times, maybe, of where I absolutely just didn't want to do anything. It was like my mojo went out the door.
That's normal. It's not, that's normal. We all get that way. And sometimes you don't know,
Why it happens.
Yeah. Or why is it that you feel that way? So you take some time for yourself. Otherwise, do something different, or don't do anything at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just for a while. It's okay not to have something planned every day or something to do every day. It's okay to give yourself permission to say, you know what? And I do this. I don't feel like doing anything. Like I tell my husband, I says, I'm taking a camping day today. Meaning when I go out to the campground, I go there, I relax, and I'll go by myself and don't have to do anything. Just and you need that. You need a refresher. We expect too much from ourselves, I think.
I also I want to ask this question because sometimes I feel like I don't know what I think, but when I have these little, I call them shutdowns, is what I call them.
Yeah.
I feel like when I do that and I'm not doing what I should be doing to share on my these projects for my YouTube channel, I feel like I'm letting those who want to see what I'm doing down. Is that wrong to feel that, or is that
That's because that's something that is because someone in your life told you that. that you were falling short, like you said. And you shouldn't feel that way. You're doing this to, we all have the days that we should. I mean, I do. I have a day, you know, that to where if things gets real stressful,
Yeah.
then I just want to either be by myself or shut down or do whatever. And I've decided that it's okay to have a day like that. It's when you have multiple days that you gotta worry about. But to have a day or two and that happens, that's you regrouping.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because
That'll be $50.
yeah. See, the last two lives today and then the other day, or whatever day it was, I had this last one. I knew I was in an attitude before I came in here. I don't know why I felt grouchy, but I literally was grouchy, but I didn't want to give in to not doing it because I feel like that when I would do that, as you pointed out, I've been taught that that's letting people down.
Yeah.
And but something interesting has happened. I started out coming into the live feeling grumpy, but by the end of the live, I felt better. So there's that.
It's because you had people to communicate with. You know, you're by yourself right now. You know, Nikolai's gone. So you're going to have days like that. And so you were able to share with somebody, have people in your group. That's why we call it's a community. And you should feel good. We want people to feel better when they come on and listen and watch our channels and all that. But why shouldn't you be able to feel better?
I'm always leery about bringing other people down because I came on with an attitude, or I came on and it looked like I was unhappy but I didn't share why I was unhappy because I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring anybody else down because many people come on here so that they can escape regular everyday life and enjoy what we're doing.
People, you might have a person can have a down day, but we mask it a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so just give yourself some grace and some time, and you expect more out of yourself than we tend to expect more out of ourselves. And where we give other people grace, we don't give it to ourselves.
Yeah. And Rita had a point. She just pointed out, because this one down here has been clingy. And now I think I understand. She knew I was, because Rita just wrote, Katy, if you watch your fur baby, she knows when you are feeling down, which is why she's getting between you and the foot pedal. Think about it. And that might explain a lot of why she's trying to be on, when I bring her up on the bed, instead of sleeping off to the side like she usually does, she's right up against me like she's trying to comfort me. But I didn't realize that maybe she knew I was in a bad mood. That makes
feeling
sense.
bad. They sense it. That they're our support animal. They're just not our pets. They become our support animal.
I need to back up here and repeat some of this stuff. Looks like Denise says, I don't make resolutions either. I already know the chances of me keeping them are pretty slim. Yeah, see? I'm glad I'm not the only one, because sometimes I feel like a freak because I can't follow through on anything.
I don't either. I make resolutions, and I bet you that if we did a poll, not that we're gonna, but if we did, that 90% of the people did not follow through with their resolutions.
So if that's the case, so say we're saying 90% don't follow through, then why in the heck do we even do them?
Because it's a tradition. thing
but
that
who made
people,
that tradition, and why are we following it?
it doesn't make sense. You know, like Old Lang Syne, if you hear that, you know,
Yeah.
I think that's a very sad song.
I think it's a sad song. I recently read the lyrics because someone said, one of my friends says, you need to go read that song. And I went and I read the lyrics and I'm like, gosh, that sounds sad. Why do we sing that for New Year's Eve?
No, so we're setting ourselves up for failure when we sing that song, I think, because, you know, because it's like, okay, it's because a year's passed. We're supposed to, we should be glad that we had that year. We should be happy we get another year, and we hope we do get another year. And just think of all, I mean, all the exciting things that could happen this year to each of us. We don't know what they are. Some of them we can make happen, and others just happen. But I think the thing is,
I know that there's some parts of the year that you're like, I never want to go there again, too, you know?
oh yeah, for sure. Sometimes you have years that it's like that, not just part of the year, just yeah.
So
All,
my next question is, since we're bringing this up, how many of you, because there's quite a few of you in here that are up in age. I'm not saying you're old. I'm just saying you're up in age. How many of you feel like the year went by way too fast? And it seems like it's speeding up every year that we get older?
I think the days, I think the mornings go fast. I mean, the days go fast, but it's like in the morning, it's like boom. It's
like,
the morning's gone.
Yeah. And I feel like it's just gone by so fast. Okay, there's more here.
Jody, she says 99, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You do what you like and want, not what someone else wants or likes. That's what Rita said. And then down here, she says, Rita says, remember, we are our own worst critics. This is true. And then Frank says, same here, just loved it. And then Joy says, Katy, just let the chat take over conversation and sew if you want, or leave and relax. Oh, okay. Yep, dogs sense our feelings. And remember, a new year, month, week feels like a fresh start. No one starts a diet on a Wednesday. No, they don't. So that's funny. Now, this is not me. I'm not, please, I hope no one thinks that I'm complaining. I'm not. I'm just, you know,
sure.
I'm trying to work things out in my head so that, you know.
Yeah, let your plans be a joy and not a struggle.
Yeah.
If they don't get done, it doesn't matter.
Into the world.
Nope, it doesn't matter. You're at the point in your life that you could do just what you want, and if you change your mind, that's okay. You know, and we grow through others. So yeah,
Rita says, as the years go by, it's like, what happened?
Crystal has some good advice here.
Yep.
She
says, laugh out loud, we are old.
Yeah, we are.
Yes, the days go by so fast. This year zoomed by. I think it zoomed by way too fast.
It did.
I'm like, what in the world? I mean, I just had the oldest granddaughter turn into a teenager. Rita says,
but yeah, I think of my grandkids. I'm not getting old. They are.
Yep. Then Rita says, Katy, think about this. When you talk out loud about something, you are able to work through it compared to just thinking about it. Yeah, that does make sense.
That's true.
That is so true. And I think I missed something that Frank said before Frank said it. Oh, Frank says it's maybe a program. And Frank says that's what happens. I'm almost done with this clue, you guys. After all my yakking anyway. All right, so while I finish sewing this up, I'm going to remind everybody about the New Year's Eve. If you want to participate in the giveaway, go over to either my Facebook group and look for the graphic that talks about the New Year's Eve 12-hour. I will be updating with a new one probably. What's today? What is today? Sunday? What's today? No, today is Saturday. Probably I will update it on Monday so that you can find it easier, because at both the channel and the not channel, the group and the community tab has a lot of movement going on, so I probably need to move it back to the top again. So if you can't find it, I will re-put it up there where you can find it on Monday. Just make sure to get the form done if you want to win, if you want to be have a chance to win a prize. It's an open door live, so that means that you do not have to stay the whole 12 hours unless you want to challenge yourself and hang out with me the whole 12 hours, which will be fine by me, but I'm not saying you have to. The only thing that I ask is you show up for at least 5 to 10 minutes, so that I know that you're there and I can check you off the list that you were on, you did the form. Joy T says she needs a form. You can, if you don't find it by Monday, come back on Monday in either the community tab or in my Facebook group, and I'll have reposted it again. Now, I do have it pinned in my Facebook group, so if you go and look at the pins, you'll find it there too. All right. And anyone who has a channel, make sure you type the word !Selfie to share your channel. And yeah, so what time is it now?
Wow. It's
Wow.
almost 9. 4 hours almost.
Oh my gosh, we got to stop. So I will finish this off camera. Is there anything else anyone wants to say before I shut this down? Sherry, thank you for coming. Tell them one more time about the channel.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. And I enjoyed the chat with everybody.
Rita says nothing on her channel yet. Okay. All right. The form is for the New Year's Eve. Yes. You'll see it under the graphic where I wrote about a bunch of information, and there's a link there for that. And you can either find it on my community tab or over in on my Facebook Greenland Quilter group page. You'll find it there too. All right. I appreciate everyone coming. Thank you for everything you do for my channel. Thank you for your support. Y'all are helping me you have helped me hit some milestones this year, and I appreciate that so much. So I have a lot to celebrate on New Year's Eve, and I can't wait for us to get together and just have a good time. So have a great night, and remember to live, laugh, love, dream. And what do you do with all that? You make something. So have a great night. Thank you so much for everything. Big hugs to everyone, and see you on the next video. Do you think I foobarred that?
What?